Chapter 150. At 8 o'clock in the evening, the rain that had been falling for hours finally stopped. The moon rose from afar and was about to disappear into the horizon. The moonlight seemed to have been washed clean by the rain. The moon tonight was especially bright. Mrs. Lin and the others are enjoying the cool air in the yard. Staring at the light in the bedroom upstairs, Mrs. Lin sighs. Lun hasn't left her room since lunch. What can we do? Chu-yi just imitates Sister Hong and smiles when he can't answer. In fact, a few hours is nothing. Although cultivators in the level of training Chi can't abstain from eating, they have enough food and water. It's normal for them to do closed-door training for a few years. Chu-yi wonders which level Sister Lin is at now. Chu-yi's eyes are shining. Will Sister Lin be the first one to lay foundation among them? Contrary to Chu-yi's expectation, Lin Luoran is not meditating. In the quiet bedroom, Lin Luoran's eyes are closed, and a colorful ball of light is floating in front of her. After Lin Luoran compresses it, it finally turns into a colorful glass bead that is shining brightly. Lin Luoran opens her eyes and carefully puts the bead away. She thinks for a while and then closes her eyes again, hoping to recover the Reiki she has consumed as soon as possible. Goldie opens its eyes from time to time and looks at the back mountain vigilantly. It has been restless all day and its eyelids are twitching. This is the special telegnosis of the Golden Hawk family. Time flies to 2 o'clock in the morning. A strong wave of Reiki suddenly bursts out from the direction of the Qingsheng Taoist temple on the back mountain. After a few seconds, everything goes back to normal. Lin Luoran opens her eyes and says something to Goldie. Goldie looks more and more serious. Lin Luoran opens the window and jumps down. Chu-yi and Li Shi are also get up. Such a strong wave of Reiki even alarmed them. Seeing that Li Shi is about to call her, Lin Luoran makes a gesture to hush her. Suddenly, Lin Luoran and Li Shi hear Lin Luoran's rare serious voice. Stay at home. Run away if anything goes wrong. Goldie will take my parents and Luodong away. Take care of yourselves. Chu-yi wants to say something, but Li stops him and nods to Lin Luoran. After all, Mr. Lin has cultivated the sense of Qi. He doesn't notice that Lin Luoran has a higher level of cultivation. Li Shi and Lin Luoran don't plan to hide it from him, so he wakes up. When Mr. Lin puts on his clothes and comes out, he sees Lin Luoran flying like a big bird and disappearing into the depths of the forest. Under the moonlight, Li Shi put on a serious face and forced a smile on her face. Uncle, I'm afraid I won't be able to sleep tonight. A few miles of mountain road is nothing for Lin Luoran now. After a few leaps, she can already see the corner of the Qingsheng Taoist temple in the distance. There are people on the roof. Lin Luoran looks up and sees a skinny old Taoist with his back to the light. The woman in black is standing on the other side. Needless to say, the skinny old Taoist is the superior of Qingsheng Taoist temple. Judging from the fluctuation of Reiki just now, the two of them have already fought. Lin Luoran knows her own strength very well. She is not sure that she can hide it from the two of them, so she just walks closer. After a few steps, she sees the blood on the corner of the woman in black's mouth. However, the superior of Qingsheng Taoist temple has no trace of blood. It seems that the superior of Qingsheng Taoist temple has the upper hand in the fight just now. Lin Luoran is a little relieved. Maybe her parents won't run away tonight. That would be the best. After all, they have fallen out with each other. Lin Luoran doesn't know what happened in the afternoon. The woman in black laughs. The blood on the corner of her mouth is still wet, which makes her look beautiful. She says, "Here comes another one. God is really saving me a lot of trouble." Lin Luoran ignores her. She only bows to the superior of Qingsheng Taoist temple and says, "Thank you for taking care of me." In this case, it is not appropriate to be long-winded. It is better to be careful not to say something than to say it out loud. The old Taoist Huizhu nods, and the woman in black sneers, "Since when is it popular to take care of the younger generation in the world of cultivation?" She lowers her voice, which makes Lin Luoran want to hear the second half of her sentence. Thinking of the unusual behavior of the Lin family today, Lin Luoran is secretly shocked. She bites the tip of her tongue and the pain makes her wake up. The scene has changed again. The horsetail whisk in the hands of the old Taoist Huizhu is a magic weapon. Now, with the infusion of Reiki, thousands of strands of the horsetail whisk stand upright under the moonlight like thousands of terrifying steel needles. After reaching the foundation-building realm, the sea of aura would open and the dantian would form. The spiritual energy in a cultivator's body would slowly be refined into spiritual energy. In the path of magical equipment, spiritual energy was still needed to be used in order to truly display the power of the magical equipment itself. The woman in black smiles. A black lotus suddenly appears in her right hand and unfolds slowly under the moonlight. Lin Luoran doesn't even blink her eyes. This is the woman's magic weapon. Not everyone in the world of cultivation is a swordsman. Lin Luoran touches the single-headed phoenix hairpin in her hand. If the snow sword were fine, she wouldn't have to worry so much with the two swords together. However, the fight has started on the roof. The old Taoist Huizhu's horsetail whisk is very flexible. Every time he waves it, the range of the attack is around the woman in black. Maybe it is the strength of a senior cultivator in the level of laying foundation, or is it because of the lack of Reiki on the earth? Lin Luoran doesn't want to move her eyes away. Of course, this kind of fight between cultivators in the level of laying foundation is rare. Every move of theirs is an inspiration for her, who lacks fighting experience. The petals of the black lotus gradually open, revealing the white seed pod inside. The contrast between black and white is strong. Lin Luoran feels that there is a fragrance in the air again. It is so familiar that it reminds her of the black epiphyllum she found on the edge of the cliff. It seems that it is not. Lin Luoran is in a trance. A pink mist quietly spreads out from the woman in black. Lin Luoran's pupils shrink. Before she can say, "Taoist, be careful," the pink mist turns into a snake and rushes to the old Taoist Huizhu. Compared with the mist snake of Zhou Yaowei in the back alley of the Bluebird Club, the snake of the woman in black is obviously fiercer and faster. It comes to Huizhu in a blink of an eye. Lin Luoran takes a deep breath. No wonder it feels so familiar. The woman in black is obviously from the same sect as Zhou Yaowei. Is the woman in black here for revenge? Then she can't let the people of the Qingcheng Taoist temple suffer for her. The single-headed phoenix hairpin turns into a sword. Although there is no big river here, there is always moisture in the mountains and swamps. The night is so dark. Isn't it the time for frost? Since the woman in black is Zhou Yaowei's master, Lin Luoran will not show any mercy. What? You say I can't sneak attack? Bullshit. In this day and age, whoever was a gentleman was a pig. Obviously, the old Taoist Huizhu has much more fighting experience than Lin Luoran. The pink mist snake doesn't even touch the corner of his Taoist robe and he dodges it easily. At this moment, Lin Luoran's frost descent is really like the frost in the night. It silently attacks the back of the woman in black. Lin Luoran focuses all her attention on the sword. The bright sword is about to cut the woman in black. However, a strand of silver silk instantly entangles the sword. Lin Luoran looks at the old Taoist Huizhu who suddenly attacks her. She feels like she is struck by lightning. The woman in black, on the other hand, giggled and trembled like a flower. Chapter 151. Master. While the old Taoist Huizhu is fighting with the enemy, the few apprentices of the Qingcheng Taoist temple are watching the fight in the yard. Seeing Lin Luoran jumping on the roof, they feel embarrassed for the sneak attack, but they didn't expect that it was Huizhu who stopped Lin Luoran. Young master and can't help but exclaim. Lin Luoran feels like she is struck by lightning, but the woman in black giggles. She is attracted by An's master again. The woman in black laughs. What a handsome little Taoist. The black lotus flew out of her hand and expanded with the wind, instantly enveloping young master and in the courtyard. Before the latter could retaliate, he was wrapped up by the layers of petals. When the lotus returned to the woman's hand, it was still the size of a normal flower, but young master and was nowhere to be seen. No one expects that the woman in black suddenly changes her target. Even the old Taoist Huizhu who stopped Lin Luoran has no time to save his apprentice. Lin Luoran is a little relieved. Seeing Huizhu stop her, she thinks that Huizhu and the woman in black are in cahoots. Lin Luoran has a lot of secrets and feels guilty as a thief. Seeing that the woman in black has caught young master and Lin Luoran is less suspicious. But why did Huizhu stop her? Huizhu's horsetail whisk has already left her sword and he is attacking the woman in black. Lin Luoran looks at his face and finds nothing unusual. There must be a reason for what happened just now. But before figuring it out, Lin Luoran doesn't want to fight again. On the surface, it seems that the woman in black is here to avenge Zhou Yaowei. But why didn't she do it in Lin's villa? Everyone will be confused by her when they are defenseless. Isn't it the best time to catch them all? The relationship between her and the superior of Qingqing Taoist Temple seems to be special. Lin Luoran reviews her interactions with people since she stepped into the world of cultivation. It is impossible for her to be flawless, but she never shows off. If everything from the superior of Qingqing Taoist Temple taking care of the Lin family to the fight under the moonlight is for some purpose, then it is too big of a trap. It can't be. Lin Luoran holds the bright sword tightly. Huizhu says in a low voice, "You still can't get over it. Let him go." Sure enough, they knew each other. The woman in black wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth. Her eyes were so charming that they almost dripped water. Let him go? This little Taoist cultivation is not bad. After refining him, he will become a pretty good spirit pill. Why should I let him go? Before Huizhu says anything, Lin Luoran almost vomits. She remembers that the woman in black said she wanted to discuss Tao of Bolus with her before she left. It turns out that her Tao of Bolus is to make boluses with living people? Huizhu sighs. 8 pieces of yellow paper fly out of his hand and rush to the woman in black. Looking at the familiar scene, Lin remembers the yellow paper that when Guanjing threw out when she fought against him for the first time. Is this a magic figure? The woman in black is obviously more knowledgeable than her. She quickly retreats, but the 8 pieces of yellow paper are like maggots in a tarsal bone, sticking close to her body. The woman in black has nowhere to retreat, so she puts the black lotus in front of her chest. The lotus bursts out a dim light, forcing the 8 pieces of yellow paper to retreat more than 3 feet. Glyphs. Old man Huizhu, you've improved a lot these years. Glyphs. There is no knowledge about magic circles and magic figures in the memory bead given by White Fairy. It seems that White Fairy is not good at these 2 things. However, Lin Luoran has been thinking about the jade pendant that can protect the owner in Commander Qin's story. Now seeing that magic figures and magic circles can be combined, Lin Luoran can't take her eyes off it. Although the Black Lotus had forced back the 8 talisman papers, it had also given the talisman papers time to form a formation. The 8 talisman papers each took up 8 directions. When they intersected, the bewitching fragrance of the woman in black was first isolated by an invisible force. Huizhu's intertwined fingertips seemed to have 8 invisible lines connecting with the ends of the figure paper. Under his command, the figure paper keeps moving and occupies more advantageous positions. How could the woman in black be willing to be restrained like this? She looked at the array formation and saw that it had yet to make its killing move. She knew nothing about array formations, so it was undoubtedly a fool's dream to think that she could find the eye of the array. In addition to the eye of the circle, there is another way to get out of the circle, which is to break it by force. Lin Luoran is watching on the side. The figure paper is dancing around the woman in black. Then the woman in black seems to lose her direction. She can't touch the figure paper, which is only a few feet away from her. Instead, the more she struggles, the more wounds appear on her body. With her fair skin, the wounds all over her body become more obvious. In fact, from the perspective of the woman in black, there is no figure paper in front of her. Even the enemies on the roof of the green forest are gone. All she can see is the boundless strong wind and killing intent. The wind is like knives cutting flesh. The woman in black sneers. This is the shameful righteousness. Doesn't it have such a cruel magic circle? The black lotus in her hand is glowing. The woman in black murmurs. The outermost layer of the black lotus petal falls off. Old man Huizhu, I know you can hear me. If you don't let me out, I will make that little Taoist into a blood elixir. Huizhu can't help sighing, what a sin. Lin Luoran is a little worried. This woman seems to be mentally ill. In fact, the woman in black just wants Huizhu to say something to determine the direction. She doesn't want to think about what a sin. The pain on her body is so much easier than when she was reborn. The woman in black doesn't care about such a killing magic circle at all. She closes her eyes and senses for a while. When she opens her eyes again, the natural charm appears again. Lin Luoran is shocked. She sees the petal that fell off from the woman in black fly out and hit the figure paper one after another. The collision is silent but earth-shaking. Boom! The yellow paper can't stand the continuous attacks. There are cracks on the figure paper and the figure circle is on the verge of collapse. Seeing that the magic circle is unstable, Huizhu takes out a new figure from his sleeve. When he is about to stabilize the magic circle, the woman in black shakes the lotus and a man falls to the ground. The man's eyes are closed and it is hard to tell whether he is dead or alive. It is young Taoist and who was caught earlier. Huizhu can't help but stop. The woman in black kicks young Taoist into the unstable figure paper. The invisible wind instantly cuts young Taoist and dozens of bloody wounds. Even Lin Luoran can't bear to hurt him, let alone Huizhu, who is his direct disciple. Therefore, Huizhu can't bear to throw away the figure paper in his hand. The woman in black laughs again. Within leading the way, she actually breaks out of the magic circle. Lin Luoran wants to stab the woman with her sword, but she hesitates because Huizhu tried to stop her. However, as soon as the woman gets out of the magic circle, she kicks young Taoist into Huizhu. She changes her direction again and attacks Lin Luoran with the black lotus in her hand. Lin Luoran raises her hand and blocks the black lotus with the bright sword. The lotus is not made of metal or stone and feels soft. It turns out to be a real flower. Chapter 152. The woman in black looks at the lotus in her hand with satisfaction. She looks at the direction of Lin's villa and covets the golden hawk. She is about to put the hawk away when a long roar comes from the distance. A figure with the moonlight on his back comes down from the sky. Hearing the roar, the woman in black's expression changes. She turns around and a cloud of blood rises. She disappears in an instant. The man catches up with her. His hair and beard are all white, but his face is ruddy. Lin Luoran would be surprised if she were here. This man is Grandpa Mu, who is far away in the capital. Where is she? Grandpa Mu gets off the plane from our city and rushes all the way here. He sees an Huizhu's apprentice lying on the ground covered with blood. However, the person he wants to catch is nowhere to be seen. She ran away. Huizhu feeds him a pill and asks his apprentices to carry him back. He says calmly, she also took Lin Luoran away. Grandpa Mu sweats profusely. You just let her be taken away? If her master knows about it, how can we explain it to him? Huizhu lowers his eyelids and throws the horsetail whisk in another direction. He says as if nothing has happened, isn't her background a mystery? I want to see how strong she is and how she is going to get out of trouble. If she doesn't have any treasure to protect herself, why should we care about her master's strength? Huizhu's words are reasonable, but Grandpa Mu sighs. He is not as open-minded as Huizhu. There are fewer and fewer talents like Lin Luoran in the world of cultivation. Why should they lose one for nothing? Huizhu walks away. He doesn't want to say anything. However, looking at Brother Mu's angry face, he explains calmly, she is using the blood escape. We can't catch up with her. Grandpa Mu looks like he just swallowed a fly. The blood escape. It has only been 5 years since the last time, but she can already use such a high-level thing. She must have made many elixirs in the past 5 years. Every time Grandpa Mu thinks of the past, he is filled with regret. However, in this world, if there is medicine for regret, maybe many things will have a different result. What Grandpa Mu suddenly remembers is that his grandson Mu Tianin likes to frown when no one is around even though he is always smiling. A person with a firm mind was most likely to have an obsession in their heart. There were good and bad people with such temperaments. They could become immortals with a single thought, but they could also become demons with a single thought. Even if they were the so-called heaven-blessed ones with Taoist root, how difficult would it be for them to seek a strand of immortal fate in the current chaotic mortal world? Grandpa Moo is over 150 years old. He feels helpless in the moonlight. He looks at the direction of Lin's villa. Do they know that their woman is taken away by a devil? What responds to Grandpa Moo is the angry cry of the golden hawk in the silent moonlight. Goldie is born to be sensitive to evil chi. Suddenly losing Lin Luoran's breath, Goldie's heart is in danger. Li and Li are not its master. How can they order it to do anything? Goldie screams and spreads its wings. It flies to the sky and chases after Lin Luoran's breath. Grandpa Moo looks at the direction in which the golden hawk is flying. He hears that the hawk is a little strange. Is it going to find its master? When Lin Luoran wakes up again, she is in an underground palace full of blood. She feels that she is in a boundless sea of blood when she is still half awake. When she opens her eyes, she finds that the scene in front of her is far more terrible than her dream. There is a rolling pool of blood 2 steps away from her. The strong smell of blood tells Lin that it is not dye. It is human blood. Lin Luoran feels so weak that she can't get up. She looks around and sees the whole place. Speaking of underground palaces, she has only been to 2 of them in her life. The first one is the underwater palace of the dead woman in white in the secret land. It is a mausoleum, but there are lotuses everywhere. What disgusts Lin Luoran is that there is also a broken lotus in the blood pool. Lin Luoran can only see the lotus leaves but no flower. Is the lotus in the hand of the dead woman in black from this pool? It is a black lotus growing in the blood pool. Lin Luoran can't help but shiver. Lying on her side, Lin Luoran turns her head and sees the top. This place seems to be much smaller than the underground palace of the dead woman in white. However, there are winding cracks on the walls. Blood is oozing from the top to the surrounding walls. The blood does not drip down. Instead, it converges in the blood pool and becomes a part of it. Drip, a drop of something cold falls on Lin Luoran's cheek. Lin Luoran looks down. It turns out that not only the ceiling and the walls are covered in blood, but also the whole room. Half of Lin Luoran's body is in a pool of blood. Her green dress is stained with blood. The color of the blood makes people want to throw up last night's dinner. Lin Luoran feels weak all over. She doesn't know how long she has been lying here. Lin Luoran has experienced this feeling of helplessness from Zhou Yaowei in the alley of the Blue Bird Club. Needless to say, this is the doing of the dead woman in black. Come out. Where are you? Lin Luoran shouts. She thinks she is shouting, but in fact, her voice is as low as that of a mosquito. Last time when she was poisoned by Zhou Yaowei's pink mist, the beads seemed to have detoxified the poison. Lin Luoran feels something is wrong. She is about to check the bead when the voice of the woman in black rings. You are so young, but you have reached the late stage of training chi. What a talent! Lin Luoran looks up. The face of the woman in black stops 1 foot away from her head. It seems that the woman is looking at Lin Luoran. After a while, the woman in black tuts and slides her fingertips across Lin Luoran's forehead. What a pity! You are pretty, but now you have to sacrifice my blood pool. Lin Luoran finds it hard to speak. She can't help but say, is it worth it to kill so many people to cultivate? She has been cultivating with her parents, but the future is uncertain. She can't help but cultivate with blood, so she can only cultivate as a devil. If the purpose of cultivation is to travel between heaven and earth, what about cultivating as a devil? Is it worth it? The woman in black laughs. She bends down and can't stand up straight. In the end, she laughs so hard that her tears almost come out. You are a disciple of a famous school. How can you understand the feelings of a waste cultivator? Is it worth it? Lin Luoran used to seek the fate of immortals in the deep mountains and rivers. Because of her poor aptitude, she was cultivating when others were cultivating. When others were resting, she was still cultivating. But what was the result? When the woman in black thinks of the things that happened many years ago, she can't help but get excited, which makes the blood pool tumble endlessly. That's why she hates the woman lying on the ground at such a young age who has reached the late stage of training chi. If she is a waste cultivator, then let all the geniuses in the world of cultivation die with her. The woman in black laughs again. The tears in her eyes have long disappeared. Now it's quiet. We can talk about the Tao of Bolus. She talks condescendingly while looking at the direction of the blood pool. It seems that there is something interesting over there. Lin Luoran can't help but turn around. Chapter 153. In the quiet and bloody underground palace, a woman in a green dress is lying in the middle of the palace. She is covered with blood and there is a wound on her right wrist. Blood is dripping into the blood pool. Lin Luoran smiles bitterly. It turns out that she has been bleeding. No wonder she is even weaker than when she was poisoned by Zhou Yaowei's pink mist. It seems that she is not only poisoned by the pink mist but also lost too much blood. The woman in black wants to discuss Tao of Bolus with Lin Luoran in this situation. Maybe she wants to refine herself into the so-called elixir. Where is this place? Lin Luoran asks reluctantly. In fact, she is not in the mood to talk. She just wants to buy time. Lin Luoran didn't know whether the woman in black didn't see through her thoughts or she didn't care about her little tricks. The black lotus was thrown into the blood pool by the woman and it grew back in the pool. The blood water flowed up and quickly repaired the broken part. The lotus stem was transparent and hollow inside. Lin Luoran could still see blood gurgling up. After the petals were full of blood, not only did they stretch out, but they also grew bigger and bigger, revealing the lotus seed inside. When it was just enough for one person to sit on, the woman in black jumped on it and sat cross-legged. Her eyes were drooping and a lot of hostility dissipated. She looked like a benevolent Shura Guanyin. This is a good place that can't be found anywhere else in the state of Huaxia. The woman in black blinked her eyes, and her charm and hostility faded a lot in an instant. There is no other place in the entire state of Huaxia where there is such a pool of blood and such strong hostility. Lin Luoran feels dizzy because of excessive blood loss. She feels that she has a vague idea, but she can't push the window open. The woman in black smiles brightly and changes the topic. Let's talk about Tao of Bolus. While talking, Lin Luoran has checked her Reiki. As expected, she can't use it. She can use her spiritual mind, but she can't contact the bead. This place is really weird. The woman in black covers her mouth and smiles. You don't have to waste time. This place restrains everything. What's the point of struggling? Don't worry. I won't kill you now. I will put you into the alchemy furnace when you are still breathing. I heard that you are the only inheritor of Tao of Bolus. Do you think it's creative of me to use a human as an elixir? Man's pill. This pool of blood was all used by this black-clothed woman to refine pills. Before her, just how many people had died here? Though she can't contact the bead, Lin doesn't feel completely hopeless. The woman in black says that everything can be restrained here, but Lin Luoran doesn't believe it. If there is such a place, it will never appear in the secular world. Everything in the world is balanced. Such a place against nature is thousands of times more abnormal than the sacred pearl. But now, she can still use her spiritual mind, so the woman in black's argument falls apart. Lin Luoran feels more confident now that she can use her spiritual mind, especially when she sees the universal sack hanging on her waist. Seeing that Lin doesn't answer her question for a long time, the woman in black is not worried. As time goes by, Lin will only get weaker and weaker, and then she won't be able to do anything. There is no need for the woman to worry. The black-clothed woman grabbed the blood pool, and a small jelly-like blood clot appeared in her hand. She casually tossed it into her mouth. For Chairman AI, this kind of blood clot is a life-prolonging elixir, but for the woman in black, it is just a snack like peanuts and sunflower seeds. Thinking that her blood is also flowing into the blood pool, Lin Luoran becomes weaker and weaker. She only has one chance. If she doesn't seize it, she will really die here today. When would be the best time to do so? Lin Luoran clenches her left hand. She just moves a few fingers, but her neck is covered with fine sweat because of this slight movement. The woman in black on the lotus throne stares at the only lotus leaf in a daze. It seems that she has forgotten about Lin Luoran. The opportunity is hanging by a thread. Should she move or not? Mountains were often worshipped by the ancients to satisfy people's spiritual sustenance. The head of all the mountains in a region was called Ancestral Mountain in ancient times. In the old days of Jinling, Mount Zhong was such a landmark. Many years ago, Mount Zhong was called Jinling Mountain. Because the Yangtze River passes through the west foot of the mountain, Jinling was located near the river, which was a very dangerous place. Therefore, King Weiwang of Chu chose this place to build Jinling, hoping to conquer the world with the help of the natural moat of the Yangtze River. According to the Jiankong record of the Tang dynasty, King Weiwang of Chu built Jinling because of the mountain. Today, Jinling doesn't need the natural moat of the Yangtze River to protect its people, but the status of Mount Zhong is still the same. The center of Mount Zhong is located in the northeast suburb of Jinling, Jiangsu Province. The famous Zhongshan Mausoleum is located in the center of the scenic area. This is the mausoleum of a modern prophet. Not to mention holidays, tourists from all over the country come to visit Zhongshan. Today happened to be a Saturday, a sunny day. The hot sunshine can't stop the enthusiasm of tourists. The steps of Zhongshan Mausoleum are crowded with people. This is a very common summer noon, but tourists of Zhongshan Mausoleum will never forget this noon and today's Zhongshan Mausoleum for many years to come. First, a family of tourists who were resting by the side of the stairs suddenly realized that there was a patch of shade above their heads, as if someone had opened an umbrella above their heads. The family was still confused, but the tourists opposite them screamed as if they had seen a ghost. An old lady, who is over 70 years old, is brought to Zhongshan Mausoleum by her son and grandson. Now she is so nervous that her heart shrinks and she can't even speak. Eagle. The little girl, who is 4 or 5 years old, is still learning to read by looking at pictures. Seeing the eagle, she claps her hands and giggles. Children can recognize things by looking at pictures, but they don't know the exact size of the eagle. However, the little girl's mother is different. Hearing her daughter's laughter, she covers the little girl's mouth and steps back. She wishes that the eagle didn't hear her daughter's words. How can there be such a big eagle in the world? Not to mention that this giant eagle is shining like gold. What is this? Is this a picture of the legend of Condor heroes? Bullshit, cut the crap. Take pictures. The first to react are the young people who are not afraid of anything. These boys in skinny pants and girls with panda eyes are using the latest and most fashionable mobile phones. With the sound of kacha-kacha, no one knows how many photos of the golden eagle have been taken from the front and side. The tourists woke up from their stupor and took out their filming equipment. They didn't want to be left behind and started filming. The golden eagle is standing on the stone fence. Because of its fast speed, it seems to appear in people's eyes all of a sudden. With its wings down, it is as tall as 2 people from head to toe. No one has ever seen such a magnificent golden eagle. Is it the legendary beast of Huaxia? At this moment, even the young people who love to use the Martian language are eager to read the information. Who can tell them what this golden eagle is? Seeing that the golden eagle is quiet, the crowd is moving closer and closer. Goldie looks down at the surging crowd. This kind of gray and turbid human flesh is not its cup of tea. Compared to that, it would rather eat the fruit provided by its master. However, its master's breath disappears here. Where can it find him? Chapter 154. Every movement of Lin Luoran's fingers is very difficult. However, she has never thought about giving up. Only she knows that she doesn't have a powerful master. She is the backbone of the Lin family and she can't die here. Would there be a prince riding on a rainbow-colored auspicious cloud to save her? Lin Luoran scoffs at this idea even though she is in a daze. She tried to help Hui Zhu, but he stopped her without any explanation. As a result, she was taken away by the woman in black when she was unprepared. Lin Luoran now has a new understanding of Hui Zhu's care for the Lin family. She should rely on herself rather than anyone else. The woman in black looks at Lin Luoran's pale face. She becomes happier. It is said that you have a master who can help you cleanse your marrow. Do you think he will come to your rescue? Lin Luoran ignores her. The woman in black continues to talk to herself. You only have a little blood. How painful can it be? In the winter of that year, I was kicked out by my master. I took a train to the south and came to Zhongshan Mausoleum. I stayed at the foot of the mountain for a few days. The auntie who sold me the ticket felt sorry for me and gave me a cake. Lin Luoran's eyes move. Zhongshan Mausoleum. She says that she came to Zhongshan Mausoleum instead of go. The language of the state of Huaxia is wonderful. Only when a person is in that place, she will use the word come to describe the movement. Is this the Zhongshan Mausoleum in Jinling City? Lin Luoran kind of understands what the woman in black means when she says that she can't find a good place in the state of Huaxia. For the woman in black, this is a good place to practice her evil skills. For more people in the state of Huaxia, this place represents the suffering of a nation. There is so much blood, but not all of it is from the people killed by the woman in black. This blood pool is even more wonderful than you think. Who would have thought that the blood of the commoners would gather in the underground palace under Mount Zhong? This place is supposed to be a good place with good feng shui, which is why the lotuses can grow naturally. But now, the entire blood pool is filled with the hostility of hundreds of thousands of people. Tell me, who would dare to be presumptuous in such a place? The more the woman in black talks, the prouder she becomes. This is not only an exception for Lin Luoran. Everyone who is made into an elixir will listen to the history of the woman in black and the origin of the blood pool before they die. She liked to see them slowly lose blood and helplessly watch as they walked towards death. She liked to see their lips trembling and the corners of their eyes twitching because of fear. Only by doing so could she alleviate some of the pain and hatred she felt when her flesh and blood were devoured in the blood pool and her bones were reborn over and over again. Lin Luoran watches the woman in black laughing. This is not the best time, but she has lost too much blood. If she doesn't seize this opportunity, she may fall into a coma later because of the excessive blood loss. The opening of the universal sac moves. A colorful bead rolls down from it and falls into the blood on the ground. The bead is stained with bright red blood. Lin Luoran is not worried. Instead, she is happy. This way, she can't attract any attention. The woman in black is still talking. Lin Luoran feels more and more dizzy. Under the control of her spiritual mind, the colorful bead slowly floats to the lotus seat where the woman in black is sitting. 20 feet, 10 feet, 8 feet, 3 feet. Less than half a foot, the bead is already under the lotus seat. Lin Luoran moves her right hand. The woman in black is unconscious a moment ago, but the next moment, she moves her hand and takes the bead in her hand. Is this what you use to save your life? The woman in black laughs sarcastically with the bead wrapped in a mass of bloody light. These so-called cultivation geniuses are so silly and adorable. Do they really think that Lin Luoran knows nothing about what is happening right under her nose? Lin Luoran tries to smile. She is really happy that the bead is in the hand of the woman in black. Although this smile is a joy in bitterness, it is sincere. Explode. Lin Luoran doesn't say it out loud. She just uses all her spiritual mind to contact the colorful bead wrapped in the bloody light. Bang! With a loud noise, the entire underground palace is shaking. The shock wave brought by the explosion shakes the underground palace. Even Lin Luoran, who is lying on the ground, is affected. Her thighs, arms, and even cheeks are full of wounds because of the airflow. The blood pool is tumbling. The bead made of Reiki of the 5 elements is indeed a disposable explosive. After everything calms down, Lin Luoran tries her best to open her eyes and look at the lotus seat. This place can suppress all magic weapons and spirit weapons. However, Lin Luoran doesn't want to control this bead at all. She wants to let the violent Reiki of the 5 elements stay together. Most of the time, she has to pay attention to the bead even if she carries it with her. The woman in black has never thought that the bead would be so violent and powerful. Therefore, when Lin Luoran struggles to look at the bead, she sees a woman with a broken arm and an unrecognizable face. Lin Luoran is also covered with wounds, but she smiles. No one would be able to survive such an injury, right? On the lotus seat, Lin Luoran doesn't know whether the woman in black is alive or not. Lin Luoran tries to contact the bead again. Now she has no Reiki in her body. If she doesn't replenish it, she can't get out of this underground palace. A quarter of an hour, there is still no response from the bead. However, there comes a laughter from the lotus seat. The woman in black who has lost her right arm stands up. Her face is beyond recognition and her body is covered with cuts and bruises. No one can be scared when they see a mess of rotten flesh walking towards them like in a horror movie. To be exact, the woman in black jumps into the blood pool and swims towards Lin Luoren. What makes Lin Luoren even more horrified is that every time the woman swims, her skin recovers a little bit. When she comes to Lin Luoren, except for her right arm which has been blown into powder, the other parts of her body have become white bones and flesh. Lin Luoren is no different from before. The woman in black looks at her right arm. She grits her teeth and curses Lin Luoren. Then she kicks Lin Luoren into the blood pool. Seeing Lin Luoren rolling in the pool and being swallowed by the blood and resentful souls in the pool, the woman in black wipes the blood on her face and puts away the intact Black Lotus. She disappears from the underground palace in a blink of an eye. The pool is rolling and Lin Luoren sinks again and again. The blood pool seems to be bottomless. Lin Luoren feels great pain in her body. She can feel the tearing of the resentful souls and the corrosion of hostility even with her eyes closed. It hurts. It really hurts. Is her flesh going to be eaten up? Is her finger full of white bones? It hurts so much. She is so tired. If she could start over again, she would choose to be a cultivator again. However, she will never let herself fall into such a situation because she failed to help others. Chapter 155. Goldie's appearance in Zhongshan Mausoleum soon spreads all over the internet with the help of instant sharing tools such as Weibo. One netizen can say that it is photoshopped. However, when dozens or even hundreds of netizens take photos from different angles and upload them, Goldie's existence is beyond doubt. In the crazy rebroadcasting, Goldie soon becomes popular. People are shouting, "The mysterious hawk of Huaxia," more and more. The TV station in Jinling takes action immediately. The golden hawk sometimes hovers over Zhongshan Mausoleum and sometimes rests on the roof. The TV station takes a lot of photos and invites a zoologist and a scholar who studies Huaxia legends to make a special documentary. The TV station works fast. It only takes them 2 days to film, invite guests and edit the documentary. However, when it is about to be broadcasted, they receive a notice from their superior that it cannot be broadcasted. Although anti-harmony has always been strong, how can she be harmony with a golden hawk? The journalists are confused. However, they receive the order to keep the documentary to themselves. They can only suppress their doubts and hide the documentary. In fact, everyone has the same question. Is this the mythical beast in Huaxia legends? The crazily reposting on the internet does not stop soon. People find that the golden hawk seems to have settled down in Zhongshan Mausoleum. Except for hunting in the nearby mountains, it only hovers over Zhongshan Mausoleum or rests on the roof. It never leaves this area. What on earth is it looking for? This is probably the question that comes to everyone's mind when they see Goldie. In order to see the legendary hawk, the number of tourists to Zhongshan Mausoleum soars. People find that the golden hawk does not attack or fear humans. As time goes by, it gradually becomes a scenic spot in Zhongshan Mausoleum. Some tourists bring raw meat with them. However, the golden hawk is not a monkey on Mount Ame. It doesn't care about the meat brought by tourists. It would rather hunt for food by itself than eat a piece of meat or bread from tourists. Under the sun, its feathers look like pure gold. The fact that it doesn't eat food given by tourists soon sets off a frenzy on the internet. Goldie soon becomes a new totem worshipped by some young people. Suddenly, scholars who study Huaxia legends which have been neglected for a long time become popular. Although the TV station does not allow people to advertise, it is still discussed by word of mouth and on various forums. In the villa of Lin's family on Mount Qingqing in our city, Li Shi is browsing the internet. Luodong sees it and asks, "Goldie?" Li Shi covers his mouth immediately, signaling Luodong not to say it out loud. Sister Lin has been missing for half a month. Mr. Lin knows something about what happened that night, but he is hiding it from Mrs. Lin. Li Shi also knows something from her master. Her master asks her to return to the school as soon as possible in case something happens, but Li Shi doesn't want to go back. It was as if a devil cultivator had suddenly appeared in the cultivation world and was specifically targeting small cultivators. For a moment, everyone was in a state of panic. I heard that Sister Lin was taken away by an evil cultivator. Li Shi-er cheers herself up. If she leaves the Lin family now, Sister Lin's parents will be in danger. The Taoist master of Qingcheng Taoist Temple, who doesn't want to save the Taoist master, has been classified as a bad guy by Li Shi. 20 days after Lin Luoran's disappearance, Baojia moves in. Baojia starts to practice the breathing technique that Lin Luoran learned from Master Jia and taught her parents. Baojia puts aside her jewelry design work and devotes herself to cultivation. 30 days later, Mrs. Lin sees the news about Goldie on the internet. She closes the internet and cries. However, she doesn't tell anyone that she already knows about Goldie. Lin Luoran once said that she is Goldie's only master. How can a sensible girl like Lin Luoran suddenly disappear in the middle of the night? Goldie hovers outside every day like a wild bird. Mrs. Lin is worried, but she doesn't dare to plan for the worst. 3 months later, Luodong enters a public elementary school in our city according to Lin Luoran's original arrangement. Mrs. Lin, Mr. Lin, and Li Shi-er take turns to live in the city so that they can take care of Luodong, who is still suffering from autism. Half a year later, Chu Yi can't bear the pressure from the school and says goodbye to Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran. Though he says that he is going back to visit his family, Li Shi-er's contemptuous eyes make Chu Yi blush. How can Sister Li not know the real reason why he is leaving? Chu Yi feels that he is running away. In a hurry, he looks back at the iron thorny wall of Lin's house and feels a sense of shame in his heart. It sprouts and grows quickly, entangling Chu Yi's peaceful heart. He is a deserter. Chu Yi says this to himself, but he doesn't know that many years later, his departure today will make it impossible for him to step into this special villa of Lin's. Some people are separated by a chasm. Those above them are the clouds in the sky, and those below them are the mud on the ground. Soon after Chu Yi leaves, when Guanjing comes back from a task abroad, he doesn't expect that 9 months have passed since they parted in the secret land. He thought that he would see Lin Luoran again. However, what he hears is that Lin Luoran has disappeared again. This time, Lin Luoran's disappearance is much more dangerous than the last time. 7 months after Lin Luoran's disappearance, Wang Miao Yi gave birth to a daughter. Maybe because the skin beauty bolus has cleared the toxins in her body, the daughter is nourished by Reiki. Fatty Chui is so happy that he can't even see his teeth. Wang Miao Yi and Lin Luoran gradually learn about cultivation and the crisis that the Lin family is in. Some seniors in the world of cultivation feel bored and some juniors think that the Lin family is useless. However, Wang Miao Yi and Lin Luoran decide to buy Villa number 17, which is the closest villa to the Lin family. Now, the Lin family has lost its backbone. Wang Miao Yi and Lin Luoran are the neighbors of the Lin family. Businessmen are cunning, but they are also stubborn. Friends are friends. In Wang Miao Yi's eyes, friends are friends who don't flatter you when you are rich and powerful, but can't leave you when you are in trouble. Lin Luoran has been missing for a whole year. Except for Goldie, who is hovering over the Zhongshan mausoleum, few people believe that she is still alive. This year, Luodong is in the 2nd grade. He gets good grades, but he is a loner in private. In the winter of that year, he saved his 2 sisters from the bad guys. One of them only knows how to cultivate all day long, and he hasn't seen the other for a long time. This year, the Lin family sells 2 more villas. The housekeepers rarely see the masters. They are always crazy about the masters. It is said that the masters are all handsome and rich. How can they not be attracted? This year, the chairman of the Fortune House, who has been renting the number 7 villa all year round, dies of illness. Miss AI becomes the new chairman of the Fortune House. She is so busy that she has no time to go to the Lin family for holidays, so she doesn't need to rent a villa anymore. The next year, the situation is still not good. Lin Luoran is still missing. No one knows if she is alive, and no one knows if she is dead. Everyone becomes more and more desperate while waiting. However, they pretend to be strong. In the blink of an eye, the 3rd year has passed. It is another summer. Luodong is on summer vacation, so everyone doesn't have to go to the city to take care of him. The peaches in the Lin family's villa are full of big and red fruits again. The optimized seeds planted in the old days have been harvested batch after batch of vegetables. Iron thorns cover the entire wall. The vines are ugly, but there are strings of small purple flowers on them. If the Lin family's villa is not hidden in the deep mountains and clear water, it will definitely cause a lot of discussion. Mrs. Lin picks some tomatoes and prepares to make soup for lunch. Li Shi'er and Baojia come together and push Mrs. Lin to a shady place to stop her from cooking. Looking at the two girls who are getting closer and closer to each other, Mrs. Lin sometimes has an illusion that she lost a daughter and God gave her two more. But, my Luan, where are you? Chapter 156. In the past 3 years, Goldie has almost become a fixed landscape in the Zhongshan Mausoleum. After 3 years of being exposed to the sun, wind, frost, and rain, Goldie's golden feathers are still as bright as before. 3 years is not a long time for Goldie. Therefore, time is not Goldie's enemy. Its enemy is the woman in black who attacks it from time to time in the past 3 years. If Goldie is not as fast as an arrow and its indestructible golden feathers, it may have become the so-called elixir of the woman in black. Therefore, in the past 3 years, Goldie has been growing rapidly by sneak attacks. Goldie is no longer the silly eagle that confronted a rookie like Li Shi'er on the edge of a cliff for 3 days. If it were Goldie now, it could kill Li Shi'er with one claw attack if it went back to the secret land. The woman in black hasn't shown up for half a year. No one knows where she is, but Goldie never lets his guard down. The naivety in its eyes is gone, and it gradually becomes like a king. Ordinary tourists are more and more afraid to take pictures of Goldie. There is a golden eagle on Mount Zhongshan. It is the king of birds. This has become the consensus of many Huaxia people. As time goes by, Goldie is still popular. Smart businessmen have developed many products with Goldie as the theme. It has become a totem that awakens the mythical dream deep in the subconsciousness of every Huaxia people. This mysterious eagle is guarding the Zhongshan Mausoleum. What is it waiting for, or what? This question has been on the internet for 3 years. Netizens have all kinds of strange answers. After 3 years, no one knows what the golden eagle is waiting for. In fact, some people probably know about Goldie's waiting, but they don't care about it. For example, Taoist Huizhu, the superior of the Qingqing Taoist temple. It is a summer afternoon. Huizhu is mixing cinnabar and drawing a figure. After 3 years, Huizhu is getting older and older. Bang! There is a mistake in the line of the figure. The figure paper burns without fire and makes a small explosion. This is a demonstration for young Taoistan, but Huizhu doesn't know why he makes a mistake. This was the spirit traveling talisman that he had drawn countless times. The cinnabar was the best 100-year-old cinnabar. The talisman brush was made from the forehead hair of the silver wolf that was passed down from his ancestors. The talisman paper was made from the essence of plants. There was nothing wrong with these basic things. There was only one explanation, and that was that his heart was restless. Huizhu has lived for more than 150 years, and there are very few things that can disturb him. What will it be this time? Young Taoist and thought in confusion. Although it was a little disrespectful, there were probably not many people who knew what happened 3 years ago better than him. Because of Huizhu's failure, N is a little distracted. He can't help but look at the direction of Lin's family. In fact, what the Abbey Dean did was just standing by, which is not evil. However, N feels embarrassed, which makes him too embarrassed to go to Lin's family for the next 3 years. Huizhu once said that a master of a school doesn't need too many mortal feelings. Sympathy and pity were both taboo. Shaoan didn't think so, but he didn't know how to refute. After all, Lin's family is an outsider. Even though N feels embarrassed about what Huizhu did, he won't refute the master who raised him for outsiders. Thinking about it, he doesn't know much about Sister Lin. He probably knows that Luodong was saved by her, and Lin's family treats him as their own. During the 3 months when Qingqing Taoist Temple was with Lin's family, N heard from Mr. and Mrs. Lin that Sister Lin was not very talkative. She could bear hardships and was very filial. The first time he met Sister Lin was when he was ordered by his master to deliver a book. Sister Lin did not talk much. Her shoes were still stained with mud, and she was very gentle. However, and felt that the leading sister of this generation should be like this. Then he went to find the woman in black. Sister Lin walked them out. That afternoon, the woman in black actually talked with the Abbey Dean for a long time, and even served them tea several times, but everything was fine. However, somehow, at night they started to fight with each other. Anne's injury that night had already healed, and there was not even a scar left. However, Shaoan felt that a word called reality had been added to his mind. As a qualified successor, he had to recognize reality. Was that right? Far away in the capital, the Fragrant Hills villa was another story. It was still the same thatched cottage. It looked the same as when Lin Luoran came that year. However, Grandpa Guo was not here. It was also a summer afternoon, and there was a common drama of reprimanding one's grandson. In the past 3 years, Mu Tianen seemed to have become more mature. He was in his 30s, and he was no longer the playboy he used to be. He had begun to take control of some important businesses of the Mu family. While he was doing well, he wanted to cultivate more and more. However, Grandpa Mu didn't agree. The more Grandpa Mu didn't agree, the more obsessed Mu Tianen became. In fact, Mu Tianen didn't understand why. In the past 20 years, he had no interest in cultivation at all, so he gave the opportunity to his 6th brother. Somehow, he suddenly wants to join the hard march of cultivation. Maybe he knows the reason, but as proud as Foppish Mu, how can he admit it? Grandpa Mu knew what he was thinking, but Grandpa Mu just pretended not to know. I heard that you bought a villa in the R city? Mu Tianan was stunned. He thought he had hidden it well enough, but it turned out that Grandpa Mu still found out. Mu Tianan's Tai Chi skills had improved a lot in the past few years. He didn't answer Grandpa Mu's question directly. He said something vague and changed the topic. Grandpa Mu sighed in his heart, but he couldn't bear to blame him. Mu Tianan remembered his original purpose of coming here. He hesitated for a while but didn't say it out. He turned around and went down the mountain. Grandpa Mu looked at his back, and he was worried. What should he do with such a stubborn man? Mu Tianan was driving out of the Fragrant Hill villa when he received a phone call on the way, which made him even more upset. How many batches of international mercenary groups had he invited? They couldn't even explore a small Mount Zhong. These people were just incompetent people with undeserved fame. Mu Tianan endured it for a long time. He must have the courage to talk to Grandpa Mu next time. He knew that there were a group of masters in the family. If he could mobilize them, as for the fact that Lin Luoran was dead, Mu Tianan never thought about it. He always felt that the evil girl might be trapped in the last place where she disappeared, waiting for someone to save her. Her hawk hasn't left Mount Zhong in the past 3 years. She must be there. After Mu Tianan left, Grandpa Mu waved a paper crane down. He recognized the handwriting of an old acquaintance. The Taoist root of the single nature of the earth. Do you want it or him? In fact, there was a hidden meaning. If neither of them wanted it, Hui Zhu would take it in himself. Grandpa Mu laughed at himself. It had been 3 years, and Hui Zhu must be very anxious. Seeing that Liang Kai was only a few miles away from the Lin family, but they couldn't do anything to him. Isn't it a kind of torture for them? However, 3 years had passed, and there was no sign of the master in the level of bearing essence in their imagination. Grandpa Mu and Lin Luoran couldn't hold back their curiosity. If the so-called mysterious master who purified her marrow didn't exist, what on earth could help an ordinary person with a mixed Taoist root become a cultivator and reach the completion of the level of training Qi in only 1 year? Was this thing a one-time use treasure of heaven and earth, or a permanent heaven-defying spiritual treasure, or even a heaven-defying cultivation method that could turn waste into treasure in an environment like Earth? Was she the only one who knew this secret, or did all her family members know it? If they had such a thing? Grandpa Mu shook his head. This possibility was too tempting for him to have a firm Taoist heart. However, there was no more news about Lin Luoran. Grandpa Mu and Guo couldn't suppress these people who were eager to make a move in the bitter and cold land in the extreme northwest of Huaxia. There was an ordinary and unknown hill on the plateau. The bare hill was full of crisscrossed ravines. Lu Zhang, who set foot on the long road of cultivation, felt that he had met a real immortal. It was strange that there was a broken Taoist temple in such a place. There was only a crazy Taoist in the temple, and there was no one around. How did the Taoist survive? In the past 3 years, the young master of the Liu family had become a backpacker in the eyes of others. He had fallen in love with outdoor travel and did not want to inherit the Liu family. Out of the 365 days in a year, he spent 300 days outside. He carried a backpack all day and had almost visited all the famous mountains and ridges in Huaxia. The wind and the sun outside are naturally not as comfortable as the air-conditioned room. Lu Zheng is not as windproof and sunproof as Goldie. He has been tanned for 3 years. Except for his signature gold-rimmed glasses, even his acquaintances may not be able to recognize him as the former Master Lu when they meet again. Lu Zheng found this hill at the end of the 2nd year after Lin Luoran's accident. He believed that the crazy Taoist was unusual, so he took root on this bare hill in the bitter and cold northwest. He took care of the Taoist's food and clothes every day and went to his tent to rest at night. He was not in a hurry to stay overnight in the shabby Taoist temple. Although the Liu family was rich, no one knew where Lu Zheng went. He didn't want anyone to follow him. He just wanted to report that he was safe every month. Therefore, no matter how rich Lu Zheng was, he had to go down the hill in person and walk dozens of miles to find a local village to exchange for rice, meat, and vegetables. Then he walked dozens of miles back, carrying a lot of things, and climbed up the hill with difficulty. He climbed like this about twice a week. Lu Zheng's shoulders began to get blisters from the basket's ropes. Gradually, thick calluses formed on his skin. Time flies. He climbed up the hill with a big bag on his back. However, the old Taoist still didn't pay attention to him. Although Lu Zheng was very patient, he couldn't help showing a trace of anxiety on his face. The crazy old Taoist caught it. "What? Are you impatient now?" It was the first time for the old Taoist to talk to Lu Zheng after living with him for more than a year. Lu Zheng didn't react for a while. When he finally heard the old Taoist's words, he found that he didn't feel excited at all. Instead, his eyes were slightly wet. "Do you want to cultivate?" The old Taoist changed the topic. He became serious for a while and didn't look so crazy anymore. "Yes, master. Please accept me." Lu Zheng kowtowed in the ancient way, formal and strict. The old Taoist stared into his eyes. "Why do you want to cultivate?" Lu Zheng kowtowed, but his voice was firm. He didn't say anything about pursuing the Tao of nature or immortality. He just said what was in his heart. "I admire a woman. She is a cultivator." The old Taoist smiled weirdly. "You want to cultivate to be with her?" Lu Zheng kowtowed and shook his head. "She doesn't like me and I don't dare to dream about it. But now she is in danger and I can't save her. So I want to cultivate." Lu Zheng just knocks his head and kowtows. After a long time, the crazy old Taoist sighs faintly. "Your Taoist route is not good. The road ahead of you will be difficult. Even so, are you willing?" Lu Zheng was overjoyed. He kowtowed and formally called the old Taoist master. Chapter 157. Can light float? When Lin Luoran was very young, she found that light could float. At that time, the house was a big tile-roofed house. Some tiles would break accidentally. If too many tiles were broken, the house would be leaking. Therefore, Mr. Lin always picked a free sunny day. After lunch, he stepped on the bamboo ladder and took some new tiles to replace the broken old ones. This was what every man in charge of a family in the countryside would do. It was called picking up the house. Lin Luoran doesn't care about picking up the house. What she cares about is the sunlight pouring down from the roof when her father moves the broken tiles away. The floating sunlight is so beautiful in Lin Luoran's eyes. Light could float. Lin Luoran believed that when she was 7 or 8 years old, she felt that she had discovered a little secret. She didn't tell anyone. In fact, the Lin family was a foreign family. Her peers in the Li's village usually didn't think highly of her, so Lin Luoran had no one to tell. Later, when she went to school, Lin Luoran knew that the floating light pouring down was just the floating dust, which caused the illusion of light floating. It turned out that it was just dust. It was Li Shirsui's 10th cousin who pointed out Lin Luoran's mistake. At that time, Lin Luoran's family was poor. She never wore new clothes. Besides, she was malnourished and had thin hair and yellow skin. Therefore, she was not popular in primary school. Therefore, when Li Shishui exposed Lin Luoran's childish idea, the whole class burst into laughter. That kind of laughter was engraved in Lin Luoran's heart. She couldn't forget it for many years. Originally, she was also someone who loved to laugh and make a fuss. However, she had been forcefully suppressed into a silent and quiet person. She began to grow up in junior high school. Her body was slender and her eyebrows were beautiful, but she didn't have any confidence. All the way to university, Li Anping was from the same village as her and was admitted to the same university. He started to pursue her fiercely. From time to time, he would send her roses he bought from the market, English poems he personally wrote, and when he was sick, he would cook a bowl of soup for her. Li Anping used his own attentiveness to defeat other handsome and rich rivals and gently pluck this quiet flower. Lin Luoran, who was self-abased, thought this was love. She was very happy for Li Anping, but she didn't see that those boys in the department tried so hard to create opportunities to meet her. In fact, she had always been a simple and elegant orchid, quietly exuding fragrance. Only Lin Luoran regarded herself as the most worthless flower. Tracing back to the cause, the floating light incident can affect the first half of a person's life. If it weren't for the mysterious bead, Lin Luoran would have been a woman of low self-esteem and reticent for the rest of her life. After so many years, she is no longer an ignorant child. However, when she was half awake, she saw the floating light again. It is real drifting light, light and agile. It explodes in front of Lin Luoran. She is kicked into the blood pool and disappears instantly. Tens of thousands of ghosts rush to Lin Luoran because of the nourishing blood. Lin Luoran feels that her flesh is being gnawed and torn little by little. This kind of pain affects every nerve, making her want to commit suicide. Suicide? She doesn't even have the strength to bite her tongue. Lin Luoran's eyes are covered with a layer of light. It is this drifting light that protects the weakest part of her eyes from being gnawed by ghosts. Is it clear eyes? But it is really painful. Lin Luoran has thought of death for thousands of times. Every time she has this thought, the ghosts bite her harder. Do they bully the weak and fear the strong? I can't die. If I die, my parents, little Luodong, and all my close friends, none of them will be able to escape death. Since she has acquiesced to this lie, she will die if she doesn't hold on. The world of cultivation is not as peaceful as it seems, is it? Lin Luoran lies quietly at the bottom of the blood pool. She has been in a state of half-consciousness. Her flesh has been gnawed away. Relying on the belief that she doesn't want to die and the Reiki in her body, she is slowly reborn. The bead seems to have no reaction. However, when Lin Luoran breathes her last, the bead sends out a stream of Reiki to help her rebirth. She dies once and is reborn. Rebirth is just the beginning of another death. This is a vicious cycle. The space seems to be controlled by some rules. It doesn't allow Lin Luoran to inhale Reiki, but it can send out Reiki. What's more, a noble fire phoenix and a cold silver fish appear above the house. If Lin Luoran were in the space at this moment, she would definitely figure out some secrets of the space. For example, why is this silver fish exactly the same as the one that found the ice grass? These two are almost emotionless. Through the mist, their eyes see Lin Luoran in the blood pool. They are moved by Lin Luoran's tenacity in the struggle between life and death. They show pity in their eyes. In addition to pity, there is more respect in their eyes. Lin Luoran's tenacity finally makes the fire phoenix and the silver fish, who have been hiding for a long time, feel a little bit of emotion. How many people in the world can survive such pain? The woman in black did. Because of the hatred in her heart, she degenerated into a demon. What about Lin Luoran? Seeing floating light again, Lin Luoran finally gets rid of the humble self deep in her heart. She can no longer hear the laughter and ridicule in the dim classroom when she was a child. She is Lin Luoran, a little girl in the city looking for the chance to become an immortal. Lin Luoran's body is in so much pain that she wants to die. However, her heart has never been so bright. Lin Luoran's personal ability and state of mind are enough. In the process of rebirth, The Reiki in her body is compressed little by little. Moreover, the bead provides Reiki continuously. Why does she still need the help of the foundation-laying bolus? There seems to be a small gap in her pubic region. Reiki crazily rushes in. Lin Luoran vaguely senses it. Why does the Reiki in her body react again? The Reiki in her body feels a little crowded when it reaches the pubic region. Lin Luoran directs the Reiki to move forward based on her intuition. Finally, the Reiki breaks through the barrier. Boom! The pubic region is opened and the ocean of Reiki is formed. The Reiki finally find their home. Like a nebula, the white non-attribute Reiki occupies most of the space. The blue water Reiki and the red fire Reiki occupy the smaller nebulas. The three Reiki are rotating in Lin Luoran's pubic region at the same speed. Every time the pubic region rotates, some weak Reiki will be converted into higher-level Wakan. At this moment, it is the end of the second year since Lin Luoran lies at the bottom of the blood pool. What happened in the second year? At the end of the second year after Lin Luoran's disappearance, Luodong finishes the second grade of primary school. Wang Miao's daughter can already speak clearly. Even though she stumbles with every step, she brings relief to the depressing atmosphere of the Lin family. At the end of the second year, Mr. Lin can already train qi into his body. Baojia catches up with him. Talent is indeed a factor that makes people jealous. At the end of the second year, Foppish Mu invites an international mercenary team to search for Lin Luoran in Mount Zhong. At the end of the second year, Lu Jing finds the hill in the northwest and begins his daily life of carrying a heavy load. At the end of the second year, many people in the world of cultivation believe that the amazing girl of the Lin family must be dead. They begin to doubt the authenticity of the mysterious master and begin to plan whether they can subdue Goldie. If they fail, how much can they exchange Goldie's body for? Chapter 158. I told you I won't come back. I won't come back. In Lin's villa, Li hangs up the phone angrily. The only thing that can make her angry is her master, who always urges her to go back. What's wrong? Who made you angry? Baojia asks Li Shuo with a smile. After 3 years, Baojia's appearance hasn't changed at all. However, her eyes look more mature. She is no longer the girl who takes Wang Miao as her role model. In the past 3 years, the Lin family has been under a lot of pressure, and the Qin family is not doing well either. The Zhou family seems to be convinced that Lin Luoran is dead. Although they don't do anything to Mr. and Mrs. Lin, they start to retaliate against the Qin family. The military and the government are not the same system, but they can play tricks on each other. The Zhou family can't do anything to Commander Qin, so they start with his old subordinates. Anyone who has anything to do with the Qin family will inevitably suffer all kinds of difficulties from the Zhou family. You can't do anything because you are in the military? You must have family members and friends, right? How many companies can resist the pressure from the Zhou family if they want to survive in society? This has become a matter of life and death. Commander Qin can ignore himself, but he can't let his old subordinates worry about all kinds of hardships at home. Finally, the next year, he takes the initiative to retire due to illness. Baojia is no longer the only granddaughter of the commander of the military region, nor is she the daughter-in-law of the rich Lu family in the capital. She is now an ordinary jewelry designer. The only difference is that she is also cultivating. Living in the Lin family, Baojia never thinks about living for free. Li Shu'er is not as innocent as usual. She asks seriously, Sister Baojia, have you noticed anything unusual at night? Baojia shakes her head and looks at Li Shu'er in confusion. Li Shu'er laughs and changes the topic to cultivation. Although Li Shu'er has the single Taoist root of the nature of gold, her experience in cultivation is enough for her to be the teacher of Baojia and Mr. Lin. After Baojia leaves, Li Shu'er touches the bundling rope on her wrist and thinks about something. These days, her master has been urging her more and more. At midnight, Li Shu'er always feels that there are some sneaky movements around the villa. Were they finally going to make a move against the Lin family? Li Shu'er felt desperate. She had been practicing hard in the past 3 years, but she was not as good as Sister Lin in the secret land. She had persisted for 3 years. There was no reason for her to give up at the last moment. Although death is scary, Li Shi'er will hate herself for being a coward. Besides, Master wouldn't let her die, right? What about the rest of the Lin family? In summer, the weather in the mountainous area could change at will. One moment, the sky was clear, and the next moment, the horizon would suddenly be covered by dark clouds. The wind made the curtains flutter violently. It seemed that another shower was coming. Li Shi'er is in a daze. She thinks of a stormy day 3 years ago. The weather was similar to this one. A strange woman in black came. Sister Lin heard something at night and went out. She never came back. Li Shi'er's eyes are covered with a layer of mist. Sister Lin Shi'er is so tired. Where are you? In the Qingsheng Taoist temple, a few miles away from the Lin family's villa. If Li Shi'er had a higher level of cultivation, she would have found that her disrespectful master was sitting on the armchair. Master Mu is sitting on the top left. He doesn't seem to be happy. Master Gua is still coughing hard. He looks worse than Master Mu. Master Hui Zhu, the Taoist priest of the Qingsheng Taoist temple, is sitting on the top and is at his side. Although he is still young, he is becoming more and more like the successor of the Taoist priest. In the small Qingsheng Taoist temple, all the famous people in the world of cultivation are here. To put it nicely, this is a regular meeting of the world of cultivation. To put it bluntly, they are openly discussing how to divide the Lin family. Master Mu doesn't like to offend people. Master Gua has an old injury. It's okay for him to scold Lin Luoran, but if he really fights, his injury will break out immediately. Chen Yun, the minister of the special department of the state of Huaxia, is wearing a Chinese tunic suit. He is a nice guy who smiles at everyone. Although his personal ability is low and he is only one step away from the level of laying foundation, he has a lot of power because of the entanglement of different forces. When Guanjing, Qin Yun's right-hand man, is not here today for some reason. There are only 5 cultivators in the level of laying foundation in the state of Huaxia. Hui Zhu, Master Mu, Master Gua, and Shi Heng, Li Shi'er's master, are here. In fact, Hui Zhu is in the later stage of the level of laying foundation, so his opinion is the most important. Although when Guanjing is not here, the Wen family of Zhu Mountain is not absent. Everyone has their own thoughts. After drinking a few cups of tea, Shi Heng breaks the silence first. We are scheming against a family in the secular world. Isn't it? It's one thing to be disrespectful, but it's another thing to save face. Thinking that Li Shi'er has been living in the Lin family for several years, Shi Heng feels embarrassed. The master of the Wen family smiles. Master Shi, I heard that your apprentice is very stubborn. What is so stubborn about? The master of the Wen family smiles without saying a word. Shi Heng is about to say something when Hui Zhu opens his eyes. Master Shi, you have to know that treasuring a jade ring will get you into trouble. We are not going to kill anyone. As long as we get the jade ring, we can take care of the Lin family in the future. That adopted son of the Lin family is a genius of the single nature. If we don't train him well, it will be a loss for the world of cultivation. Seeing that Hui Zhu has made the decision, Master Gua suddenly stands up and starts coughing violently. Master Mu sighs. He has a big family to feed. For so many years, the Mu family has been thriving. After 3 years of coordination and suppression, he feels that he is worthy of his acquaintance with Lin Luan. Lin Luoran is a well-behaved girl. Why doesn't she have any luck? The master of the Wen family smiles and rubs his hands. Why don't you give the child to us? No one wants to let go of a genius of the single nature. Those who are thinking about it don't say anything. Shi Heng snorts in his heart. Zhu Mountain swordsmanship is the right way. Since when does the school of earth have to be robbed? The nature of earth is the most pure and mellow. It has nothing to do with fierce swordsmanship in the sanatorium in the capital. After 3 years of reconstruction and the elixir provided by his master, the young master of the Zhou family finally stands up. If it were a good person, it would be an inspirational story. As for Zhou Yaowei, he has the potential to be a scourge for thousands of years. The young master of the Zhou family is very happy, but his charming master is a little dissatisfied. The power in the blood pool can make her bones and flesh grow again very quickly. However, with her current personal ability, she can't regrow a broken arm. The woman in black is so competitive that she will never go out with only one arm. Therefore, in the past 6 months, the woman in black has been receiving transplant operations in the capital. She needs a hand bone of the same length as her. She also needs the most advanced transplant operation. Finally, she uses a secret spell to fit the arm to her body. Without her as his apprentice, it is really not easy to do all these things. After more than a dozen operations, she finally finds an arm with a good fit. Where does the arm that failed before come from? The woman in black moves the newbie who is barely qualified. With the power of the Zhou family, they can always find a qualified donor. Are they willing to do this? The woman in black sneers. It has nothing to do with her. You want to deal with the Qin family and the Lin family. How is it going? Life is so boring. Watching a play is the only way to kill time. The woman in black really wants to know whether those righteous people who look decent but are actually prostitutes will help the Lin family when they are in trouble, or hit them when they are down. Master, don't worry. I have already told them that they won't kill us until we go to our city. The black-clothed woman looked at her dark red nails and said with a smile, "That's good." The ground of the Zhongshan Mausoleum is full of tourists. Under the Zhongshan Mausoleum is the bloody and dark underground palace of the Blood Pool. After thousands of times of gnawing, the ghosts have long lost their patience with Lin Luoran. The water in the Blood Pool is tumbling. The ghosts throw Lin Luoran out with her eyes closed. Lin Luoran can't be possessed by the devil. Why does she occupy their space? They might as well discard her. Lin Luoran floats in the Blood Pool. She opens her eyes, which have been closed for 3 years. Her eyes hurt because of the blood light. She did not have the time to sigh at the hard-won light. She first checked the condition of her body, and a faint smile hung on the corner of her mouth inadvertently. Finally, the last trace of Reiki in her body is refined into Wacken. Chapter 159. Boom! As a bolt of lightning flashes across the sky, the heavy rain that has been brewing for the whole afternoon finally falls in the evening. The entire our city, the surrounding counties and mountains are shrouded in the heavy rain. Thunder and lightning come one after another. It seems that the entire plain of Chuan province is shaking. The thunder is so loud that some places have to cut off the internet. Most of the students who can't live without the internet have to lie in bed and talk nonsense. Some girls are hiding under the quilt, while the boys are laughing and saying, "Who is going through the heaven's doom here?" A black MPV runs on the highway from our city to Mount Qingqing without avoiding the thunderstorm. Zhou Yaowei, who is still a little stiff in his subtle movements, orders with a smile, "Do it." A ferocious expression appears on his face, twisting his handsome face. The woman in black tilts her head and reminds him, there is a cultivator in the middle stage of training qi in the Lin family. Don't take her lightly. Zhou Yaowei doesn't take it seriously. That girl has cultivation but no brains. She is not a threat. As if to prove Zhou Yaowei's words, Li Shi'er, who lives on the 2nd floor, hears a man's voice. "I know where Lin Luoran is. What do you want to trade for it?" Li Shi'er has considered the possibility of luring the man away from the mountain. However, the so-called whereabouts of Lin Luoran is too tempting for her. One of the reasons why Li Shi'er decides to go after the man is that the man has no cultivation at all. He is just an ordinary person. If a cultivator in the middle stage of training qi can't deal with an ordinary person, Li Shi'er's years of cultivation will be in vain. Li Shi'er is confident that she can catch the man in 5 minutes. After 3 years, Li Shi'er's kung fu has finally improved. At least, she can jump out of the villa without being noticed. But why is the man running to the Qingqing Taoist temple? Li Shi'er wonders if this is a trick of the Taoist temple. The next moment, she sees the man in black who has been following her slowly fall to the ground. Li Shi'er pauses and claps her hands behind the tree. It is her master, Shiheng. Master, is Shiheng kidding me? Shiheng makes a hand gesture, and the bundling rope around Li's wrist quickly binds her like a rice dumpling. Seeing that Li Shi'er still wants to scream, Shiheng makes a gesture to cover her mouth. Li Xia can't say a word. No one knows what kind of spell Shiheng has used. There is a pleading look in Li's big eyes. Shiheng can't tell whether it is rain or tears in the heavy rain, but according to his apprentice's character, she must be crying again. However, Huizhu can't stop Huizhu's decision. He coughs and says, "There are thieves in the Qingqing Taoist temple. Public morals are degenerating day by day." Shiheng holds Li Xiu by the end of the bundling rope. Shiheng goes to check the man in black who has collapsed. Li Xiu is lured away. The Zhou family feels that their plan works. They sneak into Lin's villa. Looking at the wall of vines full of flowers, the leader sighs that the Lin family has chosen a good place. It's so remote and there are no cameras. It's so convenient for them to take action. After a few steps, the leader jumps over the wall of vines. A man in black is already standing on the other side of the iron fence. He waves his hand, and 3 people behind him immediately jump over. The other 4 don't go in directly. Instead, they go around the back of the villa, climb up a big tree, and sneak into the backyard. The leader makes a gesture to attack, but he finds no one behind him. He feels something is wrong, so he steps back to an angle where he can protect himself. Then he turns around. God, what kind of monster is this? The leader couldn't help but be surprised. The heavy rain poured down, and some faint sounds were covered by the sound of the rain. The beautiful wall of vines behind him unexpectedly came to life and waved its claws like an octopus, quietly entangling his 3 companions behind him. Seeing that they struggled fiercely and seemed to be entangled more and more tightly, the leader felt very strange. Between not alarming the Lin family and saving his companions, he only spent 1 second to make a choice. He has to kill the Lin family as soon as possible. He is horrified. Mr. Lin and Bao Jia, who are hiding behind the curtain on the 2nd floor, look at each other and see helplessness in each other's eyes. Their personal abilities are too low, and they can only use a little Reiki. They even have to work together to command the iron thorns with natural spiritual plants. They feel helpless and bitter. Fortunately, they are all from the secular world. Even if Li Shi'er is not here, Mr. Lin and Mr. Lin will be able to take them down. In Bao Jia's mind, she is a little less confident. Unlike Lin Luoran, she and her father have never thought about learning some external martial arts even though they have been practicing hard in the past 3 years. Otherwise, they won't have to worry about dealing with these people. In the next 10 minutes, Bao Jia and Mr. Lin play tricks on the people who sneak in. A man in black just flips over to the window and his neck is entangled by the curtain which has been motionless before. It seems magical to the layman. In fact, it is just Mr. Lin waving the metal marbles hanging under the curtain and the marbles drive the curtain into the air. Bao Jia and Mr. Lin use this trick to take down 3 of the 5 people who sneak into the villa. Bao Jia and Mr. Lin have mixed feelings about this situation. They are happy that there are only 2 more people, but they are worried that they can only use a little Reiki in their bodies. Each of them can only control a small object once at most. If they can't do it accurately, Bao Jia looks at the swimming pool. For people with the nature of water and wood, the swimming pool is the best place to take advantage of the thorns wall. How can they lead them there? Bang! With a muffled sound, Bao Jia and Mr. Lin both lie on the ground. A bullet flies over their heads, leaving a neat round hole on the glass. They have guns with silencers. Damn it! Bao Jia bites her lower lip. They must be from the Zhou family. They break into a civilian's house with guns. The Zhou family is so selfish. Bao Jia is furious, but at the same time, she feels hopeless. What follows the gunman is Luodong sobbing. They hid him and Mrs. Lin in the basement, but they still couldn't hide? Mr. Lin clenches his fists. One is his wife, and the other is his adopted son. How can he stay calm? Bao Jia stops Mr. Lin and asks in a hoarse voice, "Tell me, what do you want?" A sneer comes from outside. "Miss Qin, you are smart. We are just small fries. Please wait for a moment. Our master will be here soon." Zhou Yawei. Bao Jia's nails almost sink into her flesh. After all, she has brought trouble to the Lin family. If someone in the Lin family is injured, how can she face her missing friend? The cat and mouse drama in the Lin's villa is about to reach its climax. In fact, there are a group of onlookers near the villa. How can a group of ordinary people take the lead? The head of the Wen family sighs. Master Gua sneers, "Isn't this a good opportunity for you to play the good guy? Isn't this what Huizhu always does? He looks like a sage. How can he be willing to stain his hands with a drop of blood? In a moment of crisis, these people will show up like gods. The Lin family may still think that they are good guys. It is so shameful, he and Mu sent the villa to the wrong address. Although they have been friends with Huizhu for many years, they misjudged Huizhu's mentality when he was stuck at the later stage of laying foundation. A bolt of lightning lit up half of the sky. The heavy rain was endless. The internet in Rong City was still disconnected. If it wasn't for the fact that the internet was disconnected, whoever planned to do something to the Lin family would have been alerted by now. A photo spreads on the internet as fast as a virus. Chapter 160. Pei Yuan is a third-year student at the Jinling Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. His family is well off, so he doesn't need to work part-time. However, Pei Yuan works as a part-time tour guide every holiday. This year, he has already led several tours to Southeast Asia alone. This summer, Pei Yuan chooses to stay in Jinling to lead tours because of family affairs. Speaking of tourism in Jinling, Zhongshan Mausoleum has become more and more popular in recent years because of the popularity of the Huaxia condor. For example, the Korean tour group led by Pei Yuan this time consists of a dozen young tourists from South Korea. Young people have many topics to talk about, and of course, they have many novel ideas. For example, this time, their request is very simple. They want to observe the golden eagle in Zhongshan Mausoleum alone at night. Although this idea was strange, Pei Yuan had seen more tourists with absurd ideas. Compared with them, this was just a difficult request. Of course, they can't stay in the park. Pei Yuan provides them with tents for the night. They can only camp on the adjacent hill in the afternoon. When the tourists leave, they can get close to the golden eagle in the evening. Finally, when the tourists leave, the moon climbs over the willow trees. These Korean tourists are in high spirits. Someone takes out a high-power telescope and looks at the golden eagle resting on the archway of Zhongshan Mausoleum. The golden eagle in the high-power telescope is shining on its golden feathers, which adds a little gentleness to its awe-inspiring appearance. The Korean man leading the group had a full beard, and he stared at the camera with joy. Goldie is very sensitive. It stares at the direction of the hill, and its eagle eyes are full of arrogance. The bearded man murmured something. Because he spoke too fast, Pei Yuan could only speak simple Korean, so he didn't hear what the bearded man said. Such a majestic golden eagle should belong to our Republic of Korea. A Korean woman in her 20s takes a deep breath. She stares at the golden eagle on the archway with her beautiful big eyes greedily. He just didn't know if his eyelids were cut. Pei Yuan thinks to himself unkindly. He starts to regret leading this tour group. In the past 2 years, the Koreans had become more and more arrogant and moronic. It was one thing for them to apply for the Dragon Boat Festival as a World Heritage Site, but they claimed that everything they saw belonged to them. Even Confucius had Korean blood in him. Hearing the Korean woman's yelling, Pei Yuan has a bad feeling. Fortunately, the golden eagle has settled down in the Zhongshan Mausoleum and will not leave. Otherwise, according to the Koreans' thinking, the golden eagle will have Korean blood if it flies around the airspace of Korea. As soon as he had this thought, he suddenly realized that something was wrong. Why is everyone else silent? Pei Yuan is relieved when he finds that they set up a camera and take out their mobile phones to shoot. Pei Yuan doesn't need to explain at this time, so he takes out the latest camera phone bought by the tour guide and prepares to take some pictures of the golden eagles under the moonlight as a souvenir of this tour guide. Pei Yuan was just about to put away his phone when he looked at the Korean beside him. He couldn't help but let out a soft exclamation. In Pei Yuan's eyes, the camera frame they have set up has become a prototype of a gun. Not good. These Koreans must be up to no good. Pei Yuan quickly makes a judgment in his mind. Should he pretend not to know, or should he get involved? Reason tells Pei Yuan that it is the best strategy to pretend not to know their purpose and wait for a chance to report the case. However, college students like him are all hot-blooded at the critical moment. It is impossible for him to be rational. Besides, when Pei Yuan is hesitating for a few seconds, the stupid Korean woman turns around and says to him with a faint smile, "Mr. Pei, it is better not to see some things." Pei Yuan smiles reluctantly. These Koreans really want to get the golden eagle. Do they want to kill it or to keep it alive? How can they transport it back to China if it is alive? There must be a mole colluding with them. Such a big golden eagle can never go out without a mole, damn it. What should he do now? Pei Yuan now realizes that it is a big mistake not to learn some self-defense skills. Unfortunately, it is too late at this moment. The bearded man has already picked up the long barrel and aims at the golden eagle. It doesn't look like a weapon of mass destruction, but more like a tranquilizer gun. Pei Yuan steps forward and the big-eyed Korean woman also steps forward and stands beside him. They are ready to stop him at any time. Pei Yuan could only watch the anesthetic needle, which was thicker and longer than an embroidery needle, shoot the needle tube at the golden eagle. Dodge it. Pei Yuan is short of breath. As a student in Jinling, he has heard many rumors about the golden eagle. Pei Yuan believes that this brave golden eagle can dodge it. Why doesn't it dodge? Pei Yuan is puzzled. In fact, for Goldie, the tranquilizer gun is even more useless than a mosquito. It used to be a strange bird that was not afraid of the golden blade spell, a middle-rank training chi spell of the nature of gold. How can it care about this ordinary iron tranquilizer gun? However, this was still a provocation to him. Lin Luoran once told Goldie not to hurt human beings at will, but she never said that it can't fight back when provoked. Little Gold spread its wings and was about to fly over to kill these zerglings that dared to provoke the majesty of the golden hawk. However, a familiar aura suddenly appeared, causing Little Gold to stop flapping its wings. Goldie is at a loss. It has been waiting for this moment for 3 years. Maybe it is just an illusion? Pei Yuan screams. The Bangzi hold the guns in their hands and feel nervous. Why does a person suddenly appear? A slender hand casually caught the anesthetic needle and threw it on the ground. Under the moonlight, Lin Luoran's face is blurry. However, Goldie will never mistake her for its master because of the connection in the depths of her soul and the isolation of the blood pool in the dungeon. She is back. Goldie, who has become more and more dignified recently, instantly turns back into the silly, cunning, and spoiled eagle. It stands still and waits for Lin Luoran to come closer. The Koreans don't see how Lin Luoran catches the tranquilizer gun. They think that someone comes out to steal the golden eagle. They are so angry that they take out their long-range guns and are about to shoot the person. However, they find that the blurry figure in the moonlight jumps into the air. This is impossible. The bearded man grabs the binoculars. Obviously, this person is going to steal their golden eagle with the help of a grappling hook. What the bearded man sees through the binoculars makes him stunned. It is really jumping into the air. Judging from the fluttering clothes, it is a woman. Lin Luoran doesn't have time to pay attention to those little fleas. After 3 years, she can see Goldie in the blood pool. No one is more emotional than her. 3 years and countless times of life and death have made Lin Luoran realize the impermanence of life. She works harder and cherishes her life more. Goldie. Lin Luoran jumps to the top of the archway. Goldie lowers its head and Lin Luoran puts her face on its neck. She almost cries. Goldie also turns its neck to rub Lin Luoran's cheek. The reunion of the master and the servant is very warm. However, a few bullets from the opposite side break the warm atmosphere. The bullets hit Goldie's wings and are blocked. Gold feathers are much harder than steel plates. It is a piece of cake for Goldie to block these bullets. Lin Luoran's eyes are full of killing intent. After being eaten in the blood pool for 3 years, she is lucky that she didn't become a devil. However, she is still a little angry and cruel. Lin Luoran gets on Goldie's back. Goldie flaps its wings and comes to the top of the hill in the blink of an eye. It is so fast that the people on the opposite side don't even have time to react. Looking down from a few meters above the crowd, Lin Luoran hears a bearded man talking. Most people have watched Korean dramas. Lin Luoran can tell that the Koreans are bashful and want to pretend to be magnanimous in Korean. First, they attack Goldie, then they shoot randomly. If these people are good people, then who is bad in the world? Lin Luoran doesn't want to know why they are here. She flicks her right hand and a destructive whack-in goes into the body of the bearded man who is holding the gun. The bearded man falls to the ground. The others react and want to fight back. However, Lin Luoran knocks down all the people who try to fight back. This is the spiritual power, which is different from the spiritual power that went into Mu Tiannan's body before. The destructive power of the two is more than one level higher. The most important thing is that although there is only a trace of this tricky spiritual power, it will stay in their bodies until they die and will not dissipate. It is a bit like the life and death notes of Tianshan Tonglao. Now there is only a man who looks like a student. As soon as Lin Luoran raises her hand, the boy shouts, "I am from Huaxia. I am a student of Jinling University of Aeronautics and Astronautics. I am not with them." Lin Luoran says calmly, "Since you are from Huaxia, why are you colluding with these foreign fleas?" Pei Yuan is in a daze because of the woman in ancient costume who is riding on a golden hawk and suspected to be the goddess of heaven. If it is not related to his life, he will even forget to speak for a while. His eloquence as a tour guide saves him at this critical moment. Pei Yuan explains the situation to Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran says to herself, "Killing people scares this student. Hey, I say, hand them over to the police. Can you do that?" Pei Yuan nods. Lin Luoran doesn't care whether they will be bailed out or not. Anyway, when the tricky whack-in in these people is activated, they will die. At this moment, Lin Luoran is eager to go home. She is not in the mood to talk to this ordinary student. She has been through life and death, so she is more casual. Things like disturbing the secular world should be left to the so-called special departments and the decent schools. It has nothing to do with her. Lin Luoran touches Goldie's neck. Goldie spreads its wings, which are 7 or 8 meters long, covering the moonlight. Pei Yuan shouts, "Fairy." Lin Luoran sits on the hawk's back and turns her face to him. For some reason, Pei Yuan presses the button to open the door. It is just a trifle for Lin Luoran. Goldie disappears in the sky as fast as lightning. Pei Yuan takes the mobile phone and looks at it carefully. The handsome and heroic appearance of the golden hawk is clearly visible. Although the side of the beauty in the ancient costume is blurred, it cannot cover up her temperament. She really looks like a goddess in heaven when the silk ribbons are flying in the air. Pei Yuan is at a loss. A moan of a Korean under his feet makes him come back to himself. He calls the police first. While waiting for the police, Pei Yuan struggles in his heart and posts the photo on Weibo. The mysterious hawk of Huaxia is waiting for her. Pei Yuan is like a butterfly flapping its wings. At this moment, he has never thought that the barrier between ordinary people and cultivators in Huaxia will change so much just because he flaps his wings. Photoshopped? Soon, there is a reply on Weibo. Pei Yuan says decisively that everyone is welcome to verify it. After being identified by a group of professional photographers, the photos of Lin Luoran turning around on the back of the hawk quickly become a hot topic on all the forums and websites. Although many people still doubt the authenticity of the photos, more people regard Lin Luoran as the otherworldly Xiao Longnu created by Jin Yong. In this era, how can there be a person in ancient costume riding a giant hawk? The world that we live in from 9 to 5, is it going to return to the mythical world in one night? Many people are panicking, but they are also looking forward to it. The mythical world of Huaxia, with its boundless wilderness and strange beasts, and the chance of immortality, why don't people look forward to it? Lin Luoran doesn't know what is happening. Under the boundless moonlight, she can feel Goldie's progress in the past 3 years. Goldie's current speed is comparable to that of a plane. Goldie is flying in a straight line, so it should be faster than taking a plane. Lin Luoran calculates the time. She will see her family and friends after 3 years in an hour. Lin Luoran touches Goldie's back, and there is a smile and expectation on her face. At the same time, the sky of our city is lit up by lightning, and the first thunder strikes. Such a thunderstorm is rare in years, and the internet is even cut off for a while. Lin Luoran is full of expectation, but she doesn't know what kind of danger her family is in now. Chapter 161. The black MPV runs on the highway in a thunderstorm. Soon, it arrives at the gate of the villa. The woman in black, who has been smiling silently, suddenly changes her expression. Master! Zhou Yaowei sees her expression and thinks that the new arm is rejecting her. The woman in black soon calms down. I won't show up. You go and deal with it yourself. If something goes wrong, act according to the situation. Why are all the so-called righteous people around the Lin's house? The woman in black felt a little uneasy. Even though her devil magic gave her an advantage in fights of magical powers, she wasn't arrogant enough to think that she could use the blood escape technique to escape safely from the encirclement of 4 Foundation establishment cultivators. Besides, there were some people here that the woman in black really didn't want to see. Zhou Yaowei nodded and didn't think too much about it. His master was quite nice to him. As for what would happen, Zhou Yaowei's anger didn't allow him to think about it. The woman in black's power was not because Zhou Yaowei was a frog in a well. Zhou Yaowei gets out of the car and walks into the villa through the front gate. He has a good reason. He is here to visit a friend. Who is this friend? Miss Ellie of Fortune House, the tenant of number 7 villa. Through the woman in black, the Zhou family condescends to get acquainted with the AI family. Taking advantage of the relationship between the Zhou family and the AI family, Ellie successfully takes over the business of Fortune House and becomes the new chairman. Ellie has met Zhou Yaowei twice, the only son of the Zhou family. She has no idea that Zhou Yaowei is going to attack the Lins. Ellie is still waiting for Zhou Yaowei's visit happily. Meanwhile, Zhou Yaowei is walking slowly along the mountain road to the Lin's house. For Zhou Yaowei, who has just recovered, it is still a bit difficult for him to walk on the mountain. It takes a lot of effort for him to walk for a while. The more difficult it is, the more he hates Lin Luoran for turning him into a useless person. Although the black-robed woman had promised to help him recover his cultivation, how precious was the 4 years of a person's youth. Zhou Yaowei is full of hatred. He has never thought that Lin Luoran would not have done this to him if he was not so vicious. Zhou Yaowei walks across the lake and enters the villa of Lin's family. The cultivators around look at each other. The woman in black can sense the presence of cultivators in the level of laying foundation. They can also sense the presence of the evil cultivator. Exorcise demons? What a joke! With Hui Zhu here, they can't really kill her. They'd better wait patiently to be the savior of the Lin family. The rain was getting heavier, hitting the glass walls of the Lin's villa, making pitter-patter sounds. Zhou Yao didn't even take a look at his subordinate, who was lying on the ground in the yard and could barely breathe because of the iron thorns. Zhou Yaowei walked straight into the house. On the other side, Baojia and the others were pointed at by 2 guns, so they huddled together. The spiritual aura in Mount Qingqing was much better than that in the city. She hoped to take advantage of this time to recover a little and launch a great counterattack. Zhou Yaowei came in when she was thinking about counterattacking the necromancer. Baojia's face turns pale. Zhou Yaowei will not give her a chance to fight back. Baojia, we meet again. Zhou Yaowei has a smile on his face. He calls Baojia his sister just like he did in the years before his real identity is exposed. However, it was Zhou Yaowei who hit him with a car 3 years ago. What did she do wrong? She had merely rejected him. It was also the Zhou family that forced Grandpa to retire. If Baojia said she hated Zhou Yaowei the most, no one would dare to say they hated Zhou Yaowei the most. Especially now, Zhou Yaowei is going to attack the Lin family again. Hearing Zhou Yaowei calling her sister, Baojia glares at Zhou Yaowei. Zhou Yaowei swaggers on the sofa of the Lin family. Looking at Baojia's angry face, he feels like a cat playing with a mouse. I heard that Baojia is also a cultivator. You are becoming more and more beautiful. It's a pity that you are still suppressed by a useless man like me. What Baojia said was normal, but Zhou Yaowei made it sound obscene. Baojia's eyes turn red. For a moment, she really wants to kill Zhou Yaowei with a blow. But how did the saying go? Apart from your friends, the ones who understand you the most are your enemies. Zhou Yaowei looks at Baojia's expression disapprovingly. He points at Luodong, who is hidden behind the three of them. I advise you not to act rashly, Baojia. Zhou Yaowei's eyes are full of lust. He is not a lecher. He is just a man facing a woman he can't wait to be with. He suddenly takes the dominant position. The only way to satisfy Zhou Yaowei is to take revenge in the most direct and cruel way for this woman to humiliate him. After humiliating her, should he refine elixirs or use her as a long-term stove? This is a problem to consider. Zhou Yaowei becomes more and more proud of himself. He steps forward and touches Baojia's face frivolously. He is very satisfied with the delicate touch. Mr. Lin, who has been forbearing for 3 years, can't stand it anymore when he sees Baojia, who is like his second daughter, being flirted with. He makes a move. Bang! One of Zhou Yaowei's men shoots through Mr. Lin's arm. Mr. Lin! Old man, Dad? Dad! 3 screams are heard. Mrs. Lin is in tears and Luodong is terrified. He remembers the days when he was abused before he was saved by Lin and Luodong. The bullet not only pierces through Mr. Lin's arm, but also hits his tendon. If he doesn't get treatment in time, Mr. Lin's right hand will be disabled. You don't know what's good for you. Zhou Yaowei pulls out another gun and shoots at Mr. Lin. No! Baojia can't stop crying. She cries. After the gunshot, there is blood all over the ground. Mr. Lin curls up and rolls on the ground. It turns out that Zhou Yaowei only shot his limbs. Although his body is covered with blood, it is not fatal. Zhou Yaowei, you will die a horrible death. Baojia bites her lips so hard that they are bleeding. Zhou Yaowei is not so kind. He will never stop until he tortures the Lin family and herself. It's better to die. Baojia thinks desperately. Before she dies, she wants to drag Zhou Yaowei down with her. She doesn't care about Zhou Yaowei's death or what will happen to the Lin family. Anyway, Zhou Yaowei will not let them go. A small mass of Reiki is gathering in Baojia's body. If she pushes Zhou Yaowei into the water, she is sure that she can drown Zhou Yaowei before the 2 gunmen kill her. When Mr. Lin is injured, Master Gua is about to help but is stopped by Master Mu. Master Gua, let me do it. These so-called cultivators don't even have the basic conscience. They work so hard to beg for the Tao of nature. How can such people succeed? Master Mu can't stand by and watch. Even if he has to ruin Huizhu's plan, he doesn't care about his good reputation. A mass of fire appears in his hand. He just needs to point at the scumbags in the room and they will be turned into ashes. Huizhu looks at Master Mu with dissatisfaction. Master Mu pretends not to see it. He moves his fingers slightly and the fire is about to pour down. In the thunder, there comes a hawk's cry. Master Mu's hand stops for a second. In the pouring rain and the roaring thunder, he is not the only one who hears the hawk's cry. All the cultivators temporarily put down the Lin family and looked up at the sky. The sound of the eagle was secondary. They also felt an aura that only a foundation-building cultivator could have. The hawk flies freely in the lightning and comes to the top of the villa in a moment. Under the heavy rain, the person on the hawk is covered with a layer of hazy light, which keeps the rain away. This eagle was clearly the golden eagle. Needless to say, that person, the lightning lightens up half of the sky. As the golden hawk approaches, the face of the person on the back is clearly visible. The face is brighter, the momentum is stronger, and the eyes are full of confidence. It is Lin Luoran who has successfully laid foundation. On Goldie's back, Lin Luoran nods to Master Mu and the others. Her spiritual mind is much stronger than that of cultivators at the same level. Lin Luoran senses the breath of her enemy, the woman in black, from a distance. She is alarmed and comes to the top of the villa immediately. The rain can't cover the smell of blood and the cultivators who are watching the show. Lin Luoran guesses that something must have happened to the Lin family. Of course, she sees the fireball spell that Master Mu is about to use. Lin Luoran is not an ungrateful person, so she won't blame Master Mu for being too late. Those who can help the Lin family must be people she approves. Especially today, 3 years later, people may think that she is dead. Lin Luoran jumps off Goldie's back and flies into the house like a light smoke. Huizhu has been silent, and so has the others. Didn't they say that the girl of the Lin family is dead? In just 3 years, she is not dead but has successfully laid foundation. Those who have evil thoughts are shocked. Lin Luoran's gorgeous return has shocked them. However, the greed in their hearts can't be extinguished even in the rainy night. Is it because of her master or because she has a powerful treasure? Fortunately, no matter which one it is, they haven't done anything to the Lin family yet. Things can still be covered up and it is not too late to mend the relationship. These cultivators think that they are right. Seeing that Lin Luoran is back, Master Mu and Master Gua are no longer worried and leave. Only Huizhu's mind was clear. These things probably couldn't be covered up anymore. The peaceful days of giving books and returning wine are gone forever. Huizhu's Taoist heart is far stronger than that of ordinary cultivators. Otherwise, he wouldn't be the only one who has reached the late stage of laying foundation on the earth. He wants to advance. What's wrong with that? Lin Luoran is not in the mood to care about what these people think. She flies into the house like a light smoke. What she sees is Mr. Lin lying in a pool of blood, Mrs. Lin's tears, Luodong's fear, and Baojia's resolute calmness. The momentum of Lin Luoran makes everyone quiet down at the same time before they can see her clearly. They all turn their eyes to her. What a beautiful woman! Zhou Yaowei's men are so fascinated by her that they forget to tell whether she is a friend or a foe. Is that Luoran? They haven't seen each other for 3 years and Luodong is terrified. It takes him a while to recognize his sister. Mrs. Lin and Baojia are already in tears. It's not that they are too weak. It's just that they have been under pressure for 3 years. 3 years of waiting, disappointment, longing, and the fear that their family may be dead. At this moment, they are all in tears. Zhou Yaowei steps back and almost falls down. Impossible! You are dead. Seeing the situation at home, Lin Luoran understands everything. The joy of reuniting with her family has turned into anger in this special, welcome party. She gently holds Luodong in her arms. A burst of woodwacken flows into Luodong's body. The frightened boy soon falls asleep. What Lin Luoran is going to do next will be very bloody. Lin Luoran doesn't want a kid to be exposed to these things at such an early stage. Zhou Yaowei shoots Lin Luoran several times. The bullets don't even get close to Lin Luoran. Zhou Yaowei turns around and tries to run away. However, a gust of wind closes the door, taking away the guns in his men's hands. Zhou Yaowei's heart turns cold. However, Lin Luoran is smiling coldly. Zhou Yaowei, do you want me dead so that you can do whatever you want? Lin Luoran moves her right hand slightly. A stream of wacken shoots at Zhou Yaowei's arm faster than a bullet. Bang! A bloody hole appears on Zhou Yaowei's arm. The bones of his hand hang down. If I die, you can do whatever you want in my family. 2 wacken bullets fly out. Bang! Bang! This time, they hit Zhou Yaowei's left arm and thigh. Zhou Yaowei is paralyzed on the ground. The sharp pain makes his face twist. Shooting through other people's limbs gives him a perverted sense of satisfaction. However, when it comes to himself, it hurts so much. Lin Luoran takes 2 steps forward and looks down at Mr. Zhou, who is now a pile of rotten meat. Lin Luoran smiles charmingly like a man eating flour. But what should I do? I came back alive. Chapter 162. In order to respond to the call of the readers in the book review section and avoid further resentment towards Bao, today there are 2 chapters. Wow, Zhou Yaowei is now a pile of rotten meat. The scene is so bloody that Mrs. Lin is timid and she almost vomits. Lin Luoran restrains the 3 of them. She checks Mr. Lin's injury and takes out the bullets. Then she casts a healing spell of the wood. It is difficult to cast this spell in the later stage of training Qi. Now, with Wacken, which is 1 level higher than Reiki, it is effortless for her to cast it. Mr. Lin's bleeding stops and his wound is healing slowly from inside to outside. Spell is not magic and it can't regenerate flesh and bones. It can heal, but it is a slow process. Mr. Lin's condition looks serious, but it is actually just an external wound. He will recover in a day or two. After treating Mr. Lin and comforting Mrs. Lin, Lin Luoran sends the three of them back to their bedroom. Then she has time to deal with Zhou Yaowei and his men. The heavy rain that had been raining for half the night had stopped. The moon rises out of the clouds again, shining on Mount Qingqing, which has been washed clean by the rain. Seeing that Lin Luoran kicks out all the people, including those who were restrained by Baojia and the others, out of the yard, the onlookers stop pretending and come to say hello. Fellow Taoist Lin, congratulations on reaching the level of laying foundation. It is Chen Yun, the minister of the special department, who has been working for a long time. Now that Lin Luoran is in the laying foundation phase, she is no longer someone they can call girl. However, Chen Yun is too embarrassed to do so. Although he takes the initiative to greet Lin Luoran, he calls her fellow Taoist instead of school sister. Lin Luoran just smiles and doesn't care about such trifles. Calling her doesn't matter. As her level of cultivation increases, she may not even want to talk to these people if they want to call her sister. Because Chen Yun has set the tone, the head of the Wen family also calls Lin Luoran fellow Taoist, and invites her to visit the Wen family in Zhu Mountain a few days later. He also mentions that Wen Guanjing is on a mission in Egypt at the moment. The Wen family, who is the closest to Lin Luoran, is excluded as ignorant. Chen Yun's eyes lit up as he chimed in. He is Wen Guanjing's teacher and friend, and his relationship with Wen Guanjing is not much worse than that of the Wen family. Only a fool would not use a favor to ease the relationship. No matter what they say, Lin Luoran smiles and nods. She seems to be easy to talk to, but in fact she is very cold. Hui Zhu and Lin Luoran just said, "Congratulations," casually. Even if Lin Luoran is dissatisfied with what they did tonight, she can't kill them one by one. She can only endure it. Moreover, she had another idea, which was to collect some interest from these people. Fellow Taoists, I've just returned home today, and I still have some family matters to attend to. It's a pity that I can't discuss the Tao with all of you under the moonlight. However, I've been in seclusion for 3 years, and I've gained some insight into the Tao of alchemy. I'm preparing to sell a batch of spirit pills in the next few days, and I'll announce what I'm exchanging them for on the forum. Even Hui Zhu pays attention to Lin Luoran's words with a smiling face. Spirit pills. Cultivators are also human beings. They suffer from injuries, unstable states, and other problems just like ordinary people. It's not hard to imagine their desire for spirit pills. How many years had it been? Ever since the path of alchemy had disappeared, the number of spirit pills they possessed was truly one less after each use. They had long since run out of stock. Even Hui Zhu doesn't have high expectations for Lin Luoran's skill in alchemy, but he also hopes that Lin Luoran can make spirit pills that can help him break through the bottleneck of the level of laying foundation. Of course, Hui Zhu's idea is just to appease his hunger. Even if Lin Luoran can really make spirit pills, why should she help him to break through the level of bearing essence? It's like setting up a mountain for himself that he can never climb over. Only a fool would do that. Lin Luoran asks them to leave easily, and then announces the news that she is preparing to sell spirit pills. Even though they are driven away, they leave with a smile. As soon as the cultivators step out of the gate of Lin's villa, Lin Luoran checks on Zhou Yaowei, who has been ignored for a long time. In a situation where 3 of his limbs were destroyed and he couldn't stop the bleeding, he was still breathing. His vitality was indeed as shocking as a cockroach. "You can't kill me. My master won't let you go." Zhou Yaowei's face is twisted, and he is barely breathing. If he doesn't mention the woman in black, Lin Luoran will only get angrier. After 3 years of being gnawed by the blood pool, even though she still succeeded in building her foundation, without these 3 years, as long as she could concoct the foundation-building pill, she could have built her foundation even faster and safer. At that time, the pain of having her flesh and blood gnawed by the blood pool, and the lifelong regret of losing her loved ones was not something that a Yin's error and Yang's mistake foundation building could easily forget. There is a small spell in the level of laying foundation called voice shaping. It is not difficult to make one's voice heard by another person within a distance of 10 miles. Lin Luoran casts a spell with her right hand, and the shadow of a conch appears on her fingers. Lin Luoran uses her spiritual mind to feel the location and says, "Your apprentice asked you to save him. Will you do it or not?" The woman in black giggles, "I can have as many apprentices as he is. Useless people don't deserve my help. Just kill him." The woman in black hangs up like hanging up the phone. Lin Luoran can feel that the MPV is leaving, but she doesn't chase after it. It would be best if she could get revenge as soon as possible. However, Lin Luoran doesn't do it because she is not 100% sure. At this moment, Lin Luoran knows how important she is to the Lin family. Her life is no longer a personal matter. If she is not sure that she can kill Zhou Yaowei with one strike, she won't show her real strength. Hearing the woman in black's words, Zhou Yaowei's face turns pale. He tries to calm down and tries to move with his broken limbs. The Zhou family will never let you go, the Zhou family. The first thing that comes to Lin Luoran's mind is Mrs. Zhou, who was wearing a red suit in the corridor of the hospital when Baojia was seriously injured. Lin Luoran already disliked the Zhou family back then. In this case, Lin Luoran has to kill Zhou Yaowei's parents as well. Lin Luoran is venting her anger on Zhou Yaowei. However, strictly speaking, it is not. There is a saying that goes, "If you don't teach your son well, you will ruin the whole family for the rest of your life." How can Zhou Yaowei's parents know nothing about this? Lin Luoran condenses a bullet of Reiki and pierces Zhou Yaowei's leg, which is still intact. She lowers her head and says, "Don't worry. The Zhou family will be with you soon." Zhou Yaowei's eyes are wide open. A ball of fire suddenly appears in Lin Luoran's hand. Zhou Yaowei's last thought is, how did the young master in the capital who indulged himself in debauchery end up like this? Of course, no one will answer Zhou Yaowei's question. As soon as the ball of fire touches Zhou Yaowei's body, it spreads all over his body. Weak and powerless, Zhou Yaowei only has time to cry before he is surrounded by the fire and turns into ashes. The cultivators who haven't walked far on the path in the forest frown. Lin Luoran seems to have changed a lot since she came back. She is a little cruel. Only a kind person can be bullied. This is not good news. Lin Luoran raises her head and looks at the direction where the cultivators are leaving. She sneers. The master and his apprentice are hateful, but these hypocrites are not any better. Let's wait and see. Zhou Yaowei's henchmen can't move, but they can hear and see. What's more, they can see with their own eyes the power that goes against their common sense, and the little boss is killed. Zhou Yaowei's henchmen are so calm that they don't pee in their pants. Lin Luoran doesn't want to scare these small fries. She gives each of them a ball of fire. Seeing that his men are killed one by one, the leader closes his eyes in defeat. He waits for a long time, but Lin Luoran's ball of fire doesn't fall. He opens his eyes and sees that the evil woman has walked to the door. "Go back and tell Zhou Yaowei's parents to wait for me." A gust of wind blows. The leader rolls out of the gate of Lin's house like a rolling gourd. He stops when he is about to fall into the lake. This sudden survival almost makes him cry with joy. Although it is very likely that he will die if he goes back to the Zhou family, it is better than dying without a corpse. The leader gets up. He stumbles down the mountain as if he is being chased by a dog. Lin Luoran casts a cleaning spell and gathers the bloodstains in the house and the ashes of Zhou Yaowei's men into a ball. Lin Luoran sends the ball of fire away with the wind. The whole house becomes a clean and refreshing mountain villa again. Why does she inform the Zhou family? In fact, sometimes killing a person is not the most painful way. Compared with killing a person, Lin Luoran's dark side can be satisfied by letting them live in fear and fear before killing them. Has she become a bad person? Chapter 163. Because of the fright last night, Mrs. Lin doesn't wake up until 8 o'clock the next morning, which is obviously not in line with her biological clock. Mrs. Lin remembers the dream she had last night and feels ridiculous. Why did she dream that someone kidnapped them with a gun? However, at the end of the dream, her daughter suddenly falls from the sky. Mrs. Lin's eyes are full of tears again. So what if she is kidnapped? If she can really see her daughter who has been missing for 3 years, she will accept the nightmare. Mrs. Lin sighs. She looks at the time and then at Mr. Lin, who is sleeping soundly next to her. She gets up quickly to make breakfast. However, when she opens the door, she smells the aroma of food. Mrs. Lin doesn't pay attention to it. Maybe Baojia got up and made breakfast. However, when she passes by Baojia's room, the door is ajar. Baojia is sleeping soundly in the quilt. Obviously, Baojia hasn't gotten up yet. Then who made breakfast? Is it Li Shi'er who ran out last night? Mrs. Lin immediately denies this possibility. Li Shi'er is a quick learner, but she has no talent in cooking. The food tastes terrible. There is no way the aroma can be like this. Mrs. Lin holds the railing of the stairs and suddenly remembers the scene she thought was a dream. Could it be Mrs. Lin feels that her steps are weak? Thinking that the dream may be true, she is both hopeful and afraid of greater disappointment. Holding the railing, Mrs. Lin walks down step by step. In the dining room, there is a plate of steamed buns, several bowls of congee with pork and century eggs, and several plates of side dishes. The aroma of food comes from the table. There is a clanging sound in the kitchen. After a while, Lin Luoran comes out with a plate of cucumbers. She says, "Mom," and her voice is choked with sobs. Mrs. Lin pinches her hand. It is not a dream. She steps forward, hugs Lin Luoran and bursts into tears. Lin Luoran tries hard to comfort her mother. Mr. Lin and Baojia also wake up. Finally, Luodong wakes up. When everyone calms down and sits down at the table, it is already half an hour later. Seeing that the congee and side dishes are cold, Mrs. Lin feels embarrassed and wipes away her tears. "I'll heat them up in the kitchen." Lin Luoran stops her mother. As a cultivator in the level of laying foundation, it is a piece of cake for her. Lin Luoran reaches out her hand, which is covered with a layer of faint red light. Her hand pauses on the porridge and steamed buns. Food that is hot but not too hot is just right. There is no rule in the Lin family that no one should talk while eating. During the meal, they talk about what happened in the past 3 years. Since Luodong is here, they don't mention what happened last night or ask what happened to Zhou Yaowei and the others. Commander Qin retired due to illness. Sister Wang gave birth to a daughter, and now she spends most of her time in Villeneuve. 17, which is not far from the Lin family. Chu Yi went back to his school, but Li Shi'er disappeared last night. There are some good and bad news. Lin Luoran sensitively notices that her family has been very careful in the past 3 years when she was away. Don't let this happen again. Lin Luoran makes up her mind. However, she can't protect her family day by day. The best way is to improve the strength of Mr. Lin and Baojia as soon as possible. Lin Luoran's idea of selling boluses to those cultivators last night is not just a whim. She laid in the blood pool and successfully laid foundation at the end of the 2nd year. However, because Reiki in her body hasn't been completely transformed, she can't even move, let alone come out. What can she do by lying in bed for a year? Apart from studying the cultivation materials in her mind, Lin Luoran also has to think about the cultivation of Mr. Lin and Baojia. This is the real world of cultivation, not an online game or a novel. Taking boluses can help them level up quickly, but if they don't have a good foundation in the early stage, it will be more difficult for them to level up in the future. Therefore, Lin Luoran is willing to exchange some low-level boluses for things that Mr. Lin, Baojia, and even herself can use. After breakfast, Lin Luoran checks on her father's injury. The wound has already scabbed and his blood is gradually returning to normal. Lin Luoran is relieved. She doesn't know when Lin Luoran has become the backbone of the Lin family. With her in the family, everyone feels at ease. Mrs. Lin is satisfied with her daughter. The only thing she worries about is Li Shi'er, who went missing last night. Thinking of the cultivators last night, Lin Luoran guesses that Li Shi'er must have been taken away by her master. Lin Luoran is not worried about her safety. After comforting her mother, Lin Luoran sighs. Time is the best instrument to test everything. Baojia, Wang Miaoyi and her husband, and Li Shi'er, whom she has experienced life and death within the secret land, are still so devoted to the Lin family. Lin Luoran wants to be friends with them for the rest of her life. Lin Luoran will never let down those who are sincere to the Lin family. Lin Luoran looks at the blooming flowers in the garden. The fruit trees are full of red peaches and the walls are covered with iron thorns. Home is the warmest and most comfortable place. Lying under the vines, Lin Luoran looks at Luodong, who is standing beside her and doesn't want to leave. Luodong, who is 12 years old now, is growing taller. His round face is becoming sharper. He has changed from a boy with a bun face to a handsome young man. Lin Luoran misses the days when she could pinch his cheeks. Although Luodong's appearance has changed a lot, he is still the shy boy he used to be. Mrs. Lin tells Luodong that he is doing very well in school and is planning to skip grade 6. Finally, he has caught up with his peers. Are you used to school? Lin Luoran sighs at her irresponsibility as an adopter and asks Luodong how he feels. The boy hesitates for a while and realizes that Lin Luoran is asking him, "Very good. It was really good. Nowadays, he didn't have to go hungry, he didn't have to be beaten, and he didn't have to suffer from the cold. He could even sit in a spacious classroom and study with his peers. More importantly, compared to before, he had family. With all these, it doesn't matter if he is unhappy at school." Seeing the hesitation in Luodong's eyes, Lin Luoran sighs. Luodong must have been through a lot. Though he is shy, he is more sensible than other kids of his age. If Luodong were not so young, Lin Luoran might have been fooled by his words. It seems that Lin Luoran needs to go to his school secretly. There is also the trip she owes Luodong 3 years ago. Lin Luoran has a lot of things to do when she comes home. "Sister, can I learn magic spells?" The adults don't mention it, but it doesn't mean that Luodong has forgotten what happened last night. He is a young man. How can he wait for Sister Baojia and Sister Lin to protect him every time? It turns out that Luodong has been guarding Lin Luoran because of this. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. Luodong thinks that he is charming. Luodong has been curious about cultivation since he was a kid. He has the single Taoist root of the earth. If Lin Luoran doesn't teach him cultivation, it will be unreasonable. However, facing Luodong's expectation, Lin Luoran shakes her head slowly. Luodong is disappointed. Sure enough, he is just an adopted kid. How can he learn magic spells so casually? Looking at his face, Lin Luoran knows that this sensitive kid is thinking too much. She explains, "You can't learn it now. You can decide when you are 18. Luodong's eyes light up again. Lin Luoran laughs. She doesn't mean to tease him. It's just that the road of cultivation is difficult. Even she is still groping for it. She doesn't know what the road ahead of her is. It is a thorny road. Without great perseverance, determination, and luck, how far can one go? Luodong is adopted by the Lin family. Of course, it is his lucky chance. However, Lin Luoran hopes that when Luodong is older and able to take responsibility for his life, Luodong can choose whether to cultivate or not. Lin Luoran doesn't want Luodong, who she regards as her younger brother, to regret the choice he made when he was young when he felt the danger of cultivation. She doesn't want Luodong to regret the choice he made when he was still young. Life is so short. If one day Lin Luodong chooses not to cultivate, Lin Luoran can make him rich and have no worries about food and clothing. Isn't that a better life? As for Mrs. Lin's Taoist root, Lin Luoran worries about it. Lin Luoran is now in a dilemma. She can choose whether she wants to be like Luodong or not. Mr. Lin and her daughter are both cultivating. Without Mrs. Lin, even Lin Luoran can't accept it, let alone Mr. Lin. Lin Luoran is still thinking when she hears a bell-like laughter from the door. She is so absorbed in her thoughts that she doesn't notice that someone is at the door. A little girl in a pink dress giggles and rushes to Lin Luoran. No, to be exact, she rushes into Luodong's arms. The young man peeks at Lin Luoran and pinches the little girl's face. Two adults are standing at the door, looking at Lin Luoran in disbelief. They are Wang Miao-yi and her husband, who were invited to dinner by Mrs. Lin but didn't tell them the truth on purpose. Fatty Chui rubs his eyes. "Honey, am I sleepy?" Wang Miao-yi pinches Fatty Chui with red eyes. She steps forward and doesn't know what to say. After a while, she says, "I'm glad you're back." Their friendship turns into this simple greeting. The little girl looks at the new beautiful ant curiously and looks at Fatty Chui in confusion. Fatty Chui feels so proud and quickly takes over his 2-year-old daughter from Luodong's arms. Luodong is so good at deceiving his innocent daughter with cuteness. Tuanzi, this Aunt Lin. Fatty Chui is under pressure to teach his daughter to call Lin Luoran aunt. Lin Luoran is getting younger and younger. She looks like she is in her early 20s. Lin Luoran looks at Fatty Chui's hesitant look and smiles. Brother Chui, the jade boxes I ordered 3 years ago should have arrived by now, right? Wang Miao, he smiles through tears and Fatty Chui scratches his head, assuring that the Chui's jade shop is trustworthy. Chapter 164. Lin Luoran gets the jade box from Fatty Chui the next day. However, during the 3 years when she was lying at the bottom of the blood pool, the 100-year-old Polygonum multiflorum is more than 1,200 years old. Polygonum multiflorum over 100 years old is between a tonic and a spirit medicine. Lin Luoran sells it on a large scale. She is lucky to find a batch of white-year-old wild Polygonum multiflorum, but it is not unbelievable. Moreover, she just came out of the secret land, so it is reasonable for her to get something from the medicine dealer. However, a batch of 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum. Lin Luoran doesn't even dare to think about it. In this day and age, no one has a batch of 1,000-year-old spirit medicine. She doesn't need to take it out. As long as she leaks the news, those cultivators who have finally given up will be greedy again. They will destroy the small Lin family regardless of anything else. Lin Luoran's personal ability is between the early stage of laying foundation and the magical effect of the clear sight. She still can't see through Huizhu's personal ability. Therefore, she is almost sure that Huizhu is at least in the late stage of laying foundation. As for whether he has completed the laying foundation or not, Lin Luoran doesn't know. Never underestimate any enemy. The suffering in the blood pool has made Lin Luoran mature a lot. She would like to see Huizhu as a mountain marked with the personal ability of the late stage of laying foundation. It is always right to imagine the mountain to be steeper and make better preparations for climbing the mountain. As for the woman in black, Lin Luoran purses her lips. Although the woman in black is powerful, her personal ability is not beyond the middle stage of laying foundation. That night, it seems that Huizhu only wanted to capture her. He didn't want to kill her, so he was restrained by the woman in black and ended in a tie. The relationship between Huizhu and the woman in black is something unclear and inexplicable. Lin Luoran is smiling. In fact, she is calmly thinking about the relationship between the people she knows, their strength, and their relationship with her friend or foe. If they don't fight in the blood pool, the woman in black will lose the strange geographical advantage. Lin Luoran is confident that she can take her down, but she needs to make a good plan. Rice should be eaten one bite at a time. Lin Luoran ponders for a while and comes up with an idea. She doesn't know if it will work, but she has to try it, right? Lin Luoran takes a deep breath and pulls back her mind from these dark plans. What she had done, she had a clear conscience. Revenge and protecting her family were important, but she couldn't be trapped in such a state of mind all day long. This was detrimental to one's cultivation. Because of the change of the fleece flower, Lin Luoran has the idea of selling the spirit medicine. When the rich hid their gold, they would break it up into smaller pieces. A large piece of gold was bright and eye-catching, but if it was all exchanged for silver, it wouldn't be so eye-catching. The 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum was very eye-catching, but if all of them were refined into elixirs, apart from the use of one's own family members, who would know what year the elixir's raw materials were refined from? It was common sense in alchemy that a 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum was equivalent to 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum. To put it bluntly, if a 100-year-old Polygonum multiflorum could be refined into 10 nourishing chi boluses, then a 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum of the same size could be refined into 100 nourishing chi boluses. Of course, except for Lin Luoran, who dared not to use the treasures openly, no one would use the 1,000-year-old spirit medicine to refine low-level elixirs such as nourishing chi boluses. The reason was simple. It was easy to use the 1,000-year-old spirit medicine to exchange for 1,000-year-old ones, But when one really wanted to refine high-level elixirs, even a hundred-year-old spirit medicine couldn't make up for the special effect of the 1,000-year-old spirit medicine. Lin Luoran pondered for a while, and a confident smile appeared on her lips. Now that she had seen their true colors, she wouldn't be a fool like the boy of wealth. The elixirs she sold must be exchanged with materials. What could they exchange with? And only jade materials. These things contain a lot of reiki. As long as they are not special warm jade or cold jade, they are the only things in the world that can be absorbed by the Taoist root regardless of the nature. It must be a gift from God to cultivators. It's a pity that the Tao of heaven is in chaos, and this gift is as unstable as a bomb. That's why cultivators have to practice hard without elixirs or spirit stones. Violent reiki? Lin Luoran glanced at the bead. This is not a problem for her at all. As long as there are enough jade materials, the artificial spirit stones that Lin Luoran transforms in one night should be enough for Mr. Lin and Baojia to practice for a long time. Lin Luoran originally planned to collect them by herself, but now she has figured it out. Why not become a farm owner? She only needs to pay a small reward, and countless cultivators will go to find jade materials for her. As for how many forces from the state of Huaxia will come to Myanmar, and whether the world of jade will be reshuffled, it has nothing to do with her. So what if she is considerate of others? Kindness will only make others feel that she is weak and easy to bully. She might as well be a black-hearted merchant for once. There is another thing that makes Lin Luoran happy. With her success in laying foundation, the space has expanded by 2 plots, and the planting area has reached 1 acre. Lin Luoran now plans to do the elixir business. The original plan remains unchanged, and the extra 2 plots of land will be used to plant spirit herbs and spirit medicine. She couldn't be a fool for the rest of her life. When the new spirit herbs could be used as medicine, she would be able to replace the older ones. In this way, she could plant them one after another. Only in this way could she not waste the spirit herbs and make the best use of the space. Speaking of spirit herbs, Lin Luoran suddenly remembers that she has posted 2 posts on the forum. Now she only has the newly planted fleece flower and the 1,000-year-old fleece flower. She doesn't have the 100-year-old fleece flower for exchange. She quickly logs into the forum. Her account and password are still correct, but the 2 posts have already sunk to the bottom. Come to think of it, everyone thinks that she is dead. Naturally, the trading posts she posted are impossible to fulfill. Lin Luoran doesn't want to miss anything, so she reads the posts about exchanging the 100-year-old fleece flower. As expected, most of the replies are useless. Only a few are useful. Some replies tentatively ask Sister Lin what she wants, but she doesn't reply for a long time, so they give up. Of course, there are also some young people who entered the secret land with her. They are worried and ask if Lin Luoran is safe. Calculating the time, it should have been the 2nd year after her accident. Lin Luoran doesn't know them well in the secret land. She is satisfied to have a greeting from them. Maybe the young cultivators nowadays are not as cunning and realistic as the old ones? Lin Luoran reads the post, butterfly bush flower for exchange, with a faint smile. An inconspicuous reply catches her attention. Sister Lin, I know a place where there are butterfly bush flower, but how old do you need? He answers carefully and timidly. Lin Luoran guesses that the butterfly bush flower he knows is not old. Lin Luoran doesn't care about the age. Although she doesn't know whether there are butterfly bush flowers in the place he mentioned, Lin Luoran sends a private message to the person with the ID, Tofu. Lin Luoran has laid the foundation, but she is not the only cultivator in her family anymore. She still needs to collect the herbs for the foundation-laying bolus. Lin Luoran doesn't feel urgent. Lin Luoran opens a new post. This time, the title is very sensational. Pre-sale of low-rank bolus is hot. Pre-order as soon as possible. The main post explains the exchange of jade materials for bolus and notes that it is just an advertisement post. How to exchange the bolus depends on the quality of the jade. Jade can be bought with money, let alone looking for it herself. But bolus? Low-rank cultivators who read this post can't help but take a deep breath. Today's cultivation world is different from before. The news of Lin Luoran's return has been known by everyone, not to mention the elders of her school, but also the hottest picture on the internet. However, Sister Lin. Oh, she should be called Master Lin now. Master Lin posts such an exciting post as soon as she comes back. It is so exciting. Those who were a bit dumb still replied in the thread and asked more questions. Those who were a bit smarter turned off their computers and ran out of the training place that they usually couldn't bear to move to. They immediately booked tickets to the border of Myanmar. Marshal Uncle Lin was going to exchange elixirs for jade. Oh no, the price of jadeite was going to rise. Lin Luoran doesn't know how these low-rank cultivators feel, nor does she have time to look at the hot photo on the internet. After posting the post, she is ready to start the first step of her little plan. She picks up her phone and calls Grandpa Mu, who has returned to the capital. Grandpa Mu, this is Linny. Chapter 165. Are you looking for an eminent monk who cultivates Buddhism? Lin Luoran's request is simple and clear, but Master Mu is surprised. Buddhist cultivators have always been insignificant and they never participate in the affairs of the world of cultivation. Why does Lin Luoran want to see them? Besides, cultivation is getting more and more difficult. How many sincere believers are there in this fickle city? Buddhist cultivation is even more difficult than Taoist cultivation. Master Mu thinks so. Since Lin Luoran has never asked for help, Master Mu tells her the distribution of the remaining Buddhist cultivators. With Grandpa Mu's advice, Lin Luoran has a better idea. She thanks this senior who she doesn't have a close relationship with but has a good relationship with. Lin Luoran says that she will visit him when she comes to the capital. Hanging up the phone, Master Mu sighs. The news about Lin Luoran has been spread out. The Zhou family might even want to give birth to their son. Master Mu thinks of the photo of a man flying on a hawk. It seems that there is a gap between the world of cultivation and the secular world. Even though Master Mu has lived for more than 100 years and witnessed the end of the feudal dynasty, the hardships when the state of Huaxia was founded, and the rapid changes of the world in the past decades, he still can't tell whether it is good or bad to break the barrier between the world of cultivation and the secular world. Master Mu looks at the phone in his hand and smiles bitterly. Even he feels that the technology in the secular world is very convenient. The decline of spells is a foregone conclusion. Then, what was the future of the struggling cultivators like them? Will it be Lin Luoran? Master Mu is lost in thought. Lin Luoran has no idea what Master Mu is thinking about. What she wants most now is not to make boluses or take revenge. She even puts aside her little plan. In the space, the branches of the peach tree are bent by the weight of the fruits. The monkey wine is good for cultivation, but it is a gift from the old monkey. Lin Luoran is going to make some spirit wine herself. Lin Luoran has been back for a few days. Though she has been meditating every night, the Reiki she absorbs is not as significant as before. She hasn't started exchanging jade and everyone is in the villa. If she takes the Reiki, Mr. Lin and Baojia won't be able to compete with her. Therefore, Lin Luoran feels bored and thinks of making wine today. Lin Luoran has enough materials to make wine. She is going to make fruit wine. Now, peaches are not the only thing in her space. A few days ago, Lin Luoran saw the fruits in her space. She threw 2 apple seeds into the fruits and found a piece of grapevine. After a few days, there are red and green apples and grapes that are sweeter and a little bit sour than raisins. Lin Luoran is overjoyed to be able to grow raisin-like grapes from the wild grape seedlings. Mrs. Lin is very satisfied that her daughter has added new varieties to the vegetable basket. As for the grapes, who cares about this? In order to make wine, Lin Luoran takes Lin Luodong and a little girl, Tuanzi, up the mountain to dig clay. In fact, she wants to use the soil in her space to make wine jars, which may be effective in preventing the loss of Reiki. However, this place is close to the Qingqing Taoist temple. She seldom enters the space. She is afraid that Huizhu might notice something. It is better to have less eye-catching things. Should I move back to the city? When Luodong starts school, I might as well move back to the city. With the jade, Mr. Lin and Baojia don't have to cultivate here. Goldie is very stubborn now, so Lin Luoran doesn't force it to fly with others. Anyway, Lin Luoran has reached the level of laying foundation. She can fly on the wind even if she doesn't step on a flying sword. Goldie can stay at Lin's house as an extra layer of protection. The three of them walk in the forest. Lucy stumbles and relies on Lin Luodong to hold it. Soon, they find a shallow pond. It's too dirty to take the clay back, so they shape it on the spot and burn it into wine jars. It's convenient to take it back. Tuanzi makes many crumpled clay figurines and insists that they are her Uncle Luodong. Seeing Luodong's blushing face, Lin Luoran almost bursts out laughing. Now Lin Luoran is very good at molding with earth. In order to make the boy blush a little, she makes 2 clay figurines of Lin Luodong and Lucy. She also takes some plants in the mountains to dye the figurines. After being baked, the figurines are really lifelike. Lin Luodong can't take his eyes off them. Tuanzi claps its chubby hands and laughs so hard that its eyes can't be seen. When they return to the villa with the wine jars and Tuanzi, who is covered in mud, there is a touch of red light in the sky. That is the last glow of the setting sun. Making fruit wine is actually very simple. First, wash the fruits, beat them with a wooden stick, mash them, filter out the dregs, add some water from the space, add some spirit herbs, and seal the jars to wait for the wine to ferment. Everyone in the Lin's family is mobilized. The peaches in the space are dozens of kilograms, and the 2 apple trees have hundreds of kilograms of apples. There are a few grapes, but Lin Luoran's wine jars are not small. She has made more than 10 jars of fruit wine. When Lin Luoran mixes the reiki in the wine, she puts spirit herbs that will not affect the taste and seals the jars. Then, everyone carries the wine to the basement. Mr. Lin, who has just recovered from a serious injury, is the happiest one among them. He used to drink every day. Naturally, he is looking forward to the spirit wine made by his daughter. After making the wine, Lin Luoran's work is not finished. The space can make the growth period of a plant equal to a year. However, if a fruit tree can bear fruit for 10 years, its life will come to an end after 10 rounds of harvesting. Lin Luoran has to plant it again. Speaking of which, vegetables and fruits are still ordinary. Although the space has improved them, they still can't change this rule. After Lin Luoran cleans up the peach trees in the space and buries the new peach pits, she looks at the peach branches and doesn't know what to do with them. She doesn't know if they can be used or not. She just pushes them under the tree in the backyard of the villa. Lin's villa is quiet at night. Lin Luoran has prepared some herbs and goes to the basement alone. The second-grade alchemy furnace she got 3 years ago has been left alone in the basement. The outside is covered with dust, but the inside is as clean as new. Lin Luoran wipes away the dust and lays out the herbs she needs. She recalls the formula of bolus again. After making sure that she remembers it correctly, she slowly takes a deep breath. When she first started her cultivation, she tried to refine boluses, but she used the method of processing traditional Chinese medicine in the secular world. Now that she thinks about it, one of the reasons why it has such a great effect is that the prescription of skin beauty bolus in the shabby medicine book of the Lin family is really awesome, isn't it? It's a pity that the second part is missing. Lin Luoran must study the first part of the medicine book, which seems to be used to treat minor diseases. Lin Luoran comes back to herself and checks the spirit medicine again. There is 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum, 10 jade grass, 10 poria, 10 cassia seed, and more than a dozen spirit herbs that are more than 100 years old. Lin Luoran checks the spirit medicine again. To make a grade 1 gathering chi bolus, she needs more than 10 kinds of main auxiliary herbs. If she doesn't have the powerful space of the sacred pearl to grow them herself, ordinary people can't afford to support her if she wants to learn alchemy. This is the reason why the so-called school of alchemy disappeared in the long river of history. Lin Luoran holds the head of Cheong Chi with her right hand and slowly injects pure fire wacken into the alchemy furnace. When the alchemy furnace is opened, Lin Luoran quickly puts the spirit herbs into the small box attached to the furnace. Chapter 166. Lin Luoran doesn't put the alchemy furnace near the earth fire. She has to rely on her wacken to refine the spirit herbs until the rooster crows. Lin's family knows that she is going to make boluses. Seeing that the basement door is closed, they don't want to disturb her. Lin Luoran feels the situation inside the alchemy furnace with her clear eyes while stabilizing the output of wacken. Without the bead which could absorb Reiki at any time, Lin Luoran's cultivation level had just passed the early stage of Zhuji realm, and she hadn't even reached the middle stage yet. If she wanted to refine elixirs without earthly fire or spirit stones, she would have had a hard time refining spirit herbs. Polygonum multiflorum, Poria cocos, jade grass. They are all refined into brown liquid in their own compartments. Although wacken is overflowing, it is still too much waste liquid for bearing essence. Lin Luoran purses her lips and changes the gesture on her right hand. With a flash of light, the liquid flows down from the pores and is purified like distillation. The whole compartment is full of liquid. After 9 rounds of purification, only a shallow layer is left. Lin Luoran is so focused that she doesn't know how much time has passed. She can't be distracted at this moment, let alone care about the passage of time. After refining and purifying, the next step could be said to be the most important one: pill collecting. The success rate of bearing essence depends on one's talent. Even with the same number of spirit herbs of the same age, the same level, and the same spell for gathering boluses, there will be different results. People don't know the reason, so they attribute it to talent. In fact, the most important thing in the Tao of Alchemy is the scale. How to improve the quality of boluses. Purify again and again. No one can stay in the boring alchemy furnace year after year. When all kinds of liquid flow to the center of the alchemy furnace, they blend with each other and Reiki are in harmony. That is the best moment for gathering boluses. For example, Lin Luoran is fascinated by the beauty of the amber medicine liquid. She always thinks that the medicine liquid should be more compatible, but she forgets the quality of the alchemy furnace and her personal ability. In the blink of an eye, the medicine liquid tends to separate. Lin Luoran hurries to cast a spell to take back the boluses. The lid of the alchemy furnace trembles. A stream of light comes out of Winged Tiger's mouth, which converges with the Reiki triggered by Lin Luoran's spell. The Grade 2 alchemy furnace is helping her to take back the boluses. Lin Luoran knows that she has missed the best time to take back the boluses. She tries her best to cast the spell of taking back the boluses. She feels nervous. It seems that there is an invisible hand spinning the pure medicine liquid in the furnace and slowly squeezing it into a small ball. Lin Luoran is delighted and finishes the last spell. This cauldron of pills seemed to be able to collect quite a lot. Just as she smiled, a slight sound came from the furnace. Lin composes herself and opens the door of the basement, which has been closed for 2 days. Seeing Mrs. Lin greeting her with concern, Lin Luoran cheers up. How is it? Baojia is obsessed with cultivation now. She knows that the boluses made by Lin Luoran are mostly for her and Mr. Lin, so she is very concerned. Mrs. Lin knows her daughter better than anyone else. Seeing that Lin Luoran is tired and disappointed, she pulls Baojia. Lin Luoran sees her mother's action and feels warm for her. She cheers up and says frankly, "This cauldron of boluses is ruined by me." Yes, Lin Luoran knows that she is not a genius, but who hasn't dreamed of being an all-rounder? Besides, Lin Luoran is exhausted after 2 days of continuous output of Reiki. However, she loses at the last step. She is not willing to give up. However, at this time, Mrs. Lin and the others are giving her encouragement. Even Luodong knows how to comfort her. "Sister, I always failed when I first went to school. Now I can get 200. Lin Luoran feels a bit embarrassed to say that he got 200 as an encouragement to show off. Lin Luoran rubs his hair and says with a smile, "I'm fine. This cauldron is ruined. I just need to take a break and continue." Mrs. Lin nods. "You've been in there for 2 days. You should eat something and take a rest first." Then she and Baojia drive Lin Luoran away. Luodong, who has a pointy face, murmurs, "I'm not a kid anymore. I don't need to rub my head all the time." Lin Luoran hasn't eaten for 2 days. Mrs. Lin stews pork rib soup for her. She doesn't let Lin Luoran go until she finishes 2 bowls of rice and a big bowl of soup. Back in her room, Goldie sticks its head in through the window. It seems to know that Lin Luoran has failed. However, it doesn't know how to comfort her. Lin Luoran flies to Mount Qingqing on Goldie's back. She flies around in the sky to blow away Goldie and then goes home. Yes, she has never been a genius. Everything depends on her hard work and great opportunities. Lin Luoran returns home after the night wind blows. She doesn't cultivate this night. She sleeps for more than 10 hours before she wakes up. After eating something, Lin Luoran goes to the basement again. Lin Luoran has adjusted her Reiki to the best and her spirit is also at its best. The most important thing is that she has the experience of the last failure. Lin Luoran is more confident this time. She still puts in so many materials. Lin Luoran holds the Qiongqi beast in her left hand and keeps injecting Reiki into it. She quickly puts in the spirit herbs and closes the lid of the cauldron and starts to concentrate on making boluses. The spirit herbs and herbs are refined into liquid and their essences are kept in the purification process. The liquid is rolling and rising. Lin Luoran is fascinated by the beauty of the Reiki. The purified liquid flowed into the platform through the small holes. The small streams converged and formed a small pool of liquid on the round platform in the center of the alchemy furnace. The liquid was the essence of more than 10 kinds of spirit herbs. They had different medicinal properties and different amounts, but strangely, they interacted with each other as one. This is the moment. Lin Luoran calmly casts the spell of closing boluses. In the intertwining light, Qiongqi breathes out light again. Lin Luoran's power is trying to merge with the power of the cauldron. The lid of the cauldron vibrates for the first time. Even with her eyes closed, Lin Luoran can feel that the liquid is rotating, taking shape and becoming rounder and rounder. Finally, she finishes the last spell of closing boluses. The fire Reiki in her body is completely used up. The bead is nourishing the dried nebula in her pubic region. Lin Luoran holds the completely quiet alchemy furnace. She feels weak, but the smile on her face is getting bigger and bigger. Although she doesn't know the success rate of bearing boluses, she is undoubtedly successful. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.